Hello and welcome back to the ARK of E podcast. My name is Noah and I am joined this evening by quite a few individuals and more to come. Most importantly, for this episode, the wonderful, the talented Mr. Sunshine Mayfield joins us once again, which means it's another list episode and he's here to host. But we got some fantastic guests, my cousins, plural. That's right, you heard me correctly. Mr. Patrick J. Blanchard, and for the first time in a long time, Mr. Matthew J. Blanchard. Say hello to
Hello,
brothers
folks.
Blanchard back on an ARK of E podcast. Back together again.
Once again.
We love to see it.
Yep.
And
Shame we never find the rhythm to actually be here normally, but we're happy to jump in anytime we can. I'm happy Patrick has been joining you routinely, since I cannot.
have you been? I'm curious, and I'm not going to be upset either way. Have you had a chance to listen to any of these chaotic
I have
episodes
not,
with all
no.
of these individuals that you do not know yet? So this is going to be extra fun. It's going to be extra fun because you don't know all the personalities and all of that stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah, I'm going to introduce you to one of those personalities, Mr. Barham Williams, one of my longtime friends from high school and beyond. Uh, he joins us from Camden, South Carolina this evening, and of course uh, the brothers Blanchard up in Virginia, and Mr. Sunshine holding it down in the mountains of North Carolina. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over, as is tradition, for a list episode. We are here to discuss our 25 for 25 TV edition. We've done movies, we've done horror movies, we've done holiday movies, and we decided to squeeze in just one more before the year was over while we still have this whole 25 for 25 thing going. And it's time to talk TV. You heard our 25 favorite TV or TV series of 2025. That's so many 25s. You heard that last week. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm sure people have comments on the list. People who weren't present, they'll probably join us later. But yeah, we're taking a break from movies and we're back to television, discussing the last 25 years. Take it away, Mayfield.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Um, we've got a good list of shows to talk about again. So the rules of the game were, majority of the series needs to take place between 2000 and 2024. Uh, so I think there's certain shows that if they started in '99 but had several seasons in the aughts, we feel like those count. But ultimately, there may be an opportunity for people to discuss or to promote why they put something up. But I think for most of these, they all kind of hit the rules without any much controversy. So we rank choice vote or a Borda scale scoring for those who are really nerdy about statistics. Ultimately, people give their list from 1 to 25. If their number one is more heavily pointed than the number 25. And we go from there. We add up scores. There's bonus points for things that are on multiple lists. And then we see what comes out as number one. It's an exciting time. A lot of good shows. Some that I disagree with. But hey, I'm just here as the messenger. And so we'll get started. Number 25. A procedural that barely cares about procedure, more about the conversations that are the action. The silence is the suspense. And the monsters are already lost. Most would maybe not put this on the list. It's beloved by critics, but its abrupt ending may be limited mainstream reach. From Netflix, directed by David Fincher, it's Mindhunter.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Mindhunter's in the 25 spot. Uh,
Absolutely.
and that is much to do with Patrick, Evan, and our friend who just arrived, Tim Niles.
Say
Hi,
hello, Tim.
everybody.
Hey, buddy. So,
Hey.
Mindhunter joining the
Hopefully it all
pod once
verified. Yeah.
again, and one of your picks is on here. What do you have to say about Mindhunter?
Uh, I keep on looking up the articles speculating that they are going to do an additional season because that was such a fun, like surprisingly good show. I think you recommended it
Hmm.
to me, and yeah, I was like, that's not a genre I typically go for, and it was so captivating and just such a well done Netflix show, and yeah, it was great, fantastic.
Well, yeah. Has anybody else read the source material for it?
I have not read the source material, but my freshman year of college, the the more down home guy came and did
Yeah,
a lecture. Like it was the first visiting lecture that I went
that's
to.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the book that I've read. It's I'd say the show is a bit much better and more entertaining adaptation of the book. The book's very much one guy making it sound like he essentially solved the killer problem in America because he is amazing and genius. And some other people were there, but yeah, it's a much more entertaining. It flows a lot better than the book, but book is enjoyable if you just enjoy serial killer stuff.
Fair.
Any other major thoughts about the show? Why is it on the list? And does it deserve to be here?
It has an atmosphere to it that is, I feel like a lot of shows don't pull it off as well. It creates this like creeping mood that just sustains throughout the whole thing and never quite lets up. I don't know. It's
I'm
the
I,
Fincher.
I'm happy to see it on here. I am surprised because of exactly what Tim was talking about. It does feel unfinished, as brilliant as both of those seasons are, and I think the second season compared to the first one was elevating towards something like uh, but yeah, it does feel kind of unfinished. So that's personally why it was on my long list, but it did not make my personal 25 because it's like I don't know, I'm still holding out hope that we get more of it. And I will say there's another show that I think might come up that really scratches that same sort of itch for me that is still ongoing. So, yeah.
We do love Jonathan Groff, though, or at least I do.
Oh, fantastic performances across the board in there.
Absolutely.
Particularly uh who is the female lead? Anybody have her name on the tip of the tongue?
No, but I agree with you.
She was the big discovery for me in that because obviously Holt McElhaney, uh, and I guess that's the first thing I really saw Groff in. Uh,
Is
but
it
yeah,
Anna Torv?
yes, Anna Torf. And she's one of those. I was like, I want her to have a moment again outside because I feel like not enough people watch that show to begin with. But like, she was fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah. All righty,
Sure.
Mindhunter, kicking it off strong.
All right. Number 24, a workplace comedy that starts as satire and quietly becomes a love letter to civic optimism. It's one of TV's warmest ensembles and a rare show that grew kinder and smarter over time. On NBC, it's Parks and Rec is our number 24 spot.
Love it.
And that's going to be
Love it.
mainly due to Noah, Gavin, Evan, and Tim again.
Tim and I watched, was it the final season together when
Well, when you were
I was staying with you down in Florida? I think it was yeah, it was the last stretch of episodes, but uh yeah, what a lovely show. One of
little
those that I
Sebastian forever,
Absolutely.
man.
little Sebastian forever. Uh yeah, one of those that I always feel like is essential to my diet and I also kind of feel like I haven't had in a minute, but I usually need that like low stakes, feel good, like I need one of those. Half hour, love all the characters. There's really no actual conflict. Everything does have a satisfying resolution and it just knows how to pull on your heartstrings. Yeah,
I think that's one of the stronger points about Parks and Rec is where its colleagues that are in the similar space just felt like they had a tough time making every season hit the way that they wanted to, and they dip a little bit more. Parks and Rec is one of those shows that I think just consistently the first season it's really trying to find its footing, and then once it gets to the second season, it's just good from then on
Yeah.
out, and it wraps up in a very satisfying way, which not every show in that vein did the same thing.
Yeah. As soon as they figure out that they're not I don't know if I want to mention the other show just in case it's on here. Kind of hope not, but um,
Who
yeah.
knows?
Once they figure out they're not that and they're their own thing, yeah, it became extremely endearing.
Yes, and
100%.
one of those as they added to the cast, the like strategic, you know, who knew that Adam Scott and Amy Poehler were gonna be like one of the sweetest TV couples like in comedy history, seriously, like so endearing. Uh, and like, Rob Lowe, who prior to that I would genuinely say I could give a shit about, totally
Oh,
like,
sir,
you know,
sir,
what?
shame.
He
Okay,
was
We're
in
going to talk about
Youngblood,
what's
man.
important about Rob Lowe later on this list. I guarantee it, sir.
okay, okay, okay.
Guarantee it.
Well, no, okay, okay. Relax, first of all, and I will just say I have not seen that show, so fair enough.
Fair.
Okay.
Would you no, would you liken their relationship to that of Jim and Pam?
No, I would
God
not.
damn it!
No, I would not, because it's not a
Are you
bullshit.
serious?
Because it's not a
Shut your
bullshit,
mouth, Brendan.
8 to 9 season will they, won't they. It's just two people finding each other and like complimenting each other very well. And my favorite part about that relationship is they get together pretty quickly. And there's multiple seasons where it's like they're just a couple and it's great. And you don't really see that often in a
Nope.
non-traditional sitcom structure of like husband and wife domestic life. Like I don't know. To my mind, they were very unique within the way they portrayed them. And
I was just trying to pull on some chains there.
for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome
Give
to the
me a Tim and
podcast,
Pam.
Mr. Brendan Riley.
Hey everybody.
We currently have 7 people on this pod. I want to see if we can get to 9 and do the full Hollywood Squares.
Bring all
And
the rings of power together.
The whole grid.
yeah, my
Number
screen looks
23.
insane right now. This is great.
Number 23. A superhero story more interested in parenting than in punching. Uh, Fans are, I think, genre fans praise it highly, but it flew under the radar of most other folks. But that's okay because two of those genre fans put it high on their list. So that's why we have the CW's Superman and Lois on the list, specifically lifted up to this point by the brothers Blanchard. So, Patrick, Matthew, why should someone choose Superman and Lois versus maybe the shittier Dean Cain version?
Fair. Fair.
Any
Superman and Lois is the most forward-thinking version of Superman that has been put to television. It is not the standard fare that you have seen over and over again. It is not the will they, won't they, Lois and Clark. It is not the love triangle of the secret identity. Clark begins the story as the father of 2 children. They're married, and we begin with the death of Martha Kent. So the family has to close ranks, go back to Smallville. It's about family. It's about Superman becoming something more than just a protector. He has to be a good dad. And it resonates because it's a good story, but it resonated with me specifically because it premiered the day after I found out I was going to be a dad. So I kind of went on that journey with Superman. And anyone who read the TV arc way back in the day when I was covering the CW for the arc, Superman has resonated throughout my whole life. But this was a version of Superman that was willing to try a new formula, take risks, bring the sort of most comic accurate version of the character to the screen in terms of the way he was personified. And miles ahead of what James Gunn just did, and James Gunn did a damn good job with that Superman movie. This was the most comic accurate Superman I've seen. So that's why.
Speaking of Martha, did you know that that's also Batman's mom's name?
Crazy. Who would have guessed?
I heard saw that
Thanks,
saw
Alex.
Heard
saw
that
that once.
somewhere.
Saw that once somewhere.
I mean, but not originally.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that the name of the Brady Bunch girl too?
because it was
Martha, Martha, Martha.
That's Marsha, bud.
Marsha. Marsha.
But when you say it with Jan's lisp, Martha, Martha,
Yeah,
Martha.
yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna give
Patrick,
it to him.
Patrick, what thoughts do you have to add on Superman and Lois?
uh it's an inheritor of the stuff that made Smallville work, in that you do have an origin story of a super being who is going through the trials and tribulations, as well as the Superman story. The Super Sons are their own unique addition, playing with the mythology because they are not Superman, but hitting those beats that you like to see as people become superheroes. We have the establishment of Superman, and then we have the burgeoning quest to become heroic, uh, and the failures therein, uh, which hit harder than they did in Smallville because the stakes seem higher, uh, particularly once the scariest version of Lex Luthor
Yes.
shows up.
Yes, I was about to jump in on you if you didn't say it. The scariest version of Lex Luthor played by Michael Cudlitz. Holy shit, the Lex in this show is terrifying and amazing.
Cudlet's bald?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No.
Okay, I gotta go look this up.
There's an episode midway through the final season where Lex has moved into Smallville and has taken over the power grid and has created these red sun reflectors, where there is a bare knuckle fight between a depowered Clark Kent and Lex Luthor. And like the second it hits, you're like, I've wanted to see this since the last time Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum did this on Smallville. But also it was well earned.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Go check out Lois and Clark. All right, jumping to our number 22 spot. A small town where everyone talks fast, feels deeply, and remembers everything. This definitely hits with millennials. It's revered and endlessly rewatched. It is also from the WB and the CW in that transition time. Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls also elevated. This is another Brothers
Why?
Blanchard pick that got elevated. So, Patrick, we'll start with you this time. Why Gilmore Girls? Why is that a
I thought I
show?
was on mute. I'm sorry.
It's Lauren Graham and Emily Bishop. End, stop. That's all you need. Throw in Edward Herman, and it's a plus. Uh, it's the mother-daughter dynamic that, from the frame of the audience, you're like, you two are the same. You realize you're the same, and it speaks to children not understanding their parents and parents not understanding their children as you go into adult phases as well. Particularly the fact that, and Lauren Graham's a delight. She's just,
Yeah.
and Emily
Yeah,
Bishop
she
was
is.
in Chorus Line, the original Broadway of Chorus Line, so she knows how to perform. It's staccato writing. They had to practice their words per minute to keep on for the filming. Like if they didn't go as fast as they did, they would not meet the 42 and 37-second mark of air television. They would have too much. They did more in 50 pages of dialogue than most people do in 30 for television. And it's just a fun story, and it's humorous. And it's like, if you like Northern Exposure, talking to anybody who liked Northern Exposure and is a Gen
Old
X
enough to
out there,
remember.
it's, I like quirky small towns.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
quirky, it's charming. What more do you need?
And we know, I mean, I know of at least 20 people who that's like it's a fall rewatch almost every
Oh
year,
yeah.
right? Where they
100%. Yes. Not me,
so
but other people.
I've seen very little of it, except that clip of that went viral of Sean Gunn doing the like, I'm here for your daughter. I don't have anything to offer. That audio hits on the reels regularly. All right.
That's it.
Number 21. This is a war story, a benchmark miniseries that humanized World War II with intimacy and respect. Brought to you from Tom Hanks and Eric Jendresen on HBO. It's Band of Brothers,
Hold the phone.
and this was a Tim and an Evan, and if Brendan got his list to me a few days earlier, a Brendan pick, I believe. So Tim, why Band of
Hold the
Brothers?
phone.
Why Band of Brothers? I mean, it's the best depiction, or it is easily the best World War II depiction. And the I don't even remember how many episodes it is. I try to watch like one or two like every Veterans Day in November every year, but it's just such a well-made HBO mini series of what World War II was like in reality. And the interviews with the guys, before, it's just really cool. And I feel like I had to have something that was kind of that tribute to military, and that's the best one, being I mean, Air Force brat. We all have ties with service members. I think Band of Brothers is so well done, and it deserved to be on a top 25 list. So
They throw a little shout out for the Pacific too.
also
Hold up. The
excellent.
Pacific still might be on here, so we need to wait a minute. First, secondly, I need to call attention to the pure travesty and the begrudgance of myself that this is so far down on the list and nobody else had it on their list. To Tim's point, being the best depiction of World War II that we've seen. It's emotional. The acting is good. It's not just a war movie. And yeah, it may be a docudrama, but I don't think that you could capture the realism that was the pure darkness of that time period as close as they did. The camaraderie of, I dare I say, the Band of Brothers. The fact
Oh
that
yeah, and just
nobody else voted for that, I feel like y'all missed the boat. Excuse
well,
me
and
for calling
Brendan,
each one of you out. I feel like each one of you missed some sort of emotional piece. I'm questioning whether you have a heart at this point. Go back, watch the dang show, come back here, and then give me your take again. That show is
Brendan,
excellent.
Brendan,
Brendan, if
I
you
would
would have
say
gotten your list in on time, maybe it would have been higher, bud. You don't get to critique
Well,
everyone that didn't miss the
that's the
deadline.
only
too,
fair
Brendan.
argument that I have.
That's on me too, Brendan. I've been sick all week. I didn't get a list in. It would have been on there. It would have been high up. And as somebody like I'm
Top
named
five.
after somebody who died in the Pacific Theater. I've seen how it still affected my parents' generation just from the cascading effects of
Oh
that
my
happening.
gosh,
It's devastating. I
I,
know
I
it's
think,
amazing.
I think I had to call somebody who's running this podcast and didn't even have it on there about 8 times because I thought I was going to cry during the dang show. Anyways,
You're welcome to take a gander at my list when we're all done with this, bud.
I am on a soapbox, but this one, all right.
Brendan, there was over 100 shows that were listed for this event, and these are the top 25. So
And none of how many of them that are going to
good.
be on this are docudrama period pieces like that. Like that can capture that.
They
Come back.
get
Tell me.
so they get special preferences because it fits into a
Because
particular genre
because
that
it's in a
you think
class
is
of
somehow
adults.
elevated
Yeah.
beyond
I
everything
mean, if
else that
you're
we're
gonna
talking
give
about.
if you're gonna give preference because
So
well, oh,
upset. Dude, it's lucky
we have
number 21. Like, can we
if
move on?
we had too many Nolans and we had too many Scorseses and oh no, you know what? We can only
Back
have
in your
so
day,
many
men went to
period
war
pieces. We can only have
instead
so
of
many
writing
period
Nolan
pieces.
scripts.
Anyways, I just
Tim, how do you feel about the placement? 21 feel right?
travesty.
I mean, it's
A
the
little low.
top. It's the top number one of what it is, but in the overall past 25 years, I
You
think
could say
21
it,
is
Tim. It's a
pretty good.
travesty.
Relax. Tim, where was it on your list, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
He had it at the
what number?
16 spot.
Oh,
I
ow.
no, I didn't. They were in no particular order when I sent it to Alex
Gotcha,
the other
gotcha,
night.
Well,
gotcha.
That's my bad.
I guess the way he interpreted it was
well,
how they
it
were
was in the
listed.
16.
Okay,
All right.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
let
Okay.
this be a lesson to you, Brendan. Hit the deadline, man. hit the deadline.
I have hit every other deadline in this one, and this is the
It's a,
biggest
it's a,
travesty across all drafts that I've seen.
it's really okay. Let's see what comes after it and see how much matter we can
If the
make here.
Pacific comes after, then we got some issues.
Hey,
Number
hey, now.
20.
I like the Pacific, Barum. I do. I'm just saying that between the two.
I'm just saying the Pacific was the more brutal theater. And, we still don't have answers as to how my great uncle died. So,
It was the more
yeah.
brutal show as well. I would be
Definitely
shocked
was
if
more
it is
brutal for
somehow
sure.
ranked higher. Okay,
Sure.
Yeah,
number
I would
number
too.
20, please.
Number
Okay.
20
I digress.
is Shakespearean Profanity in the Mud.
Loser.
It's critically adored, but some may consider it dense and an early cancellation, limited mass appeal as well. Language-driven television that turned a Western into tragic poetry. It's Deadwood off on
Oh, fuck yeah.
HBO. Is number 20. That was a Noah. That was a Patrick. Noah and Patrick were the ones that
That's
lifted that
it?
is. Yep.
It would have been
That's
me
all
too.
right.
That would have been probably
25 is a
top
hard
7.
number, man. I
That
had
would
to
have been top
jettison
7.
some favorites, all right?
No,
It'd
dude,
have
I
been
feel
on my
you.
list.
You can see my long list too. You can see what else was on there. We can talk shop after this is over.
It's
We can see
it's
what
on
all
my
comes out.
honorable mentions here. That's almost another 25 on its own.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
literally, my title for the list is my top 25 TV of 20 through 2024, or a study in cutting your darlings.
Yep.
lovely.
Yeah.
Uh, it's it's so good. It's singular. I
Yeah.
mean, again, we're not here to talk about the movie, but like the fact that we did eventually get an endpoint to this, and
Well,
it
that's
actually,
also hopeful for Mindhunter.
in my opinion, wrapped up like pretty perfectly. Uh, but those 3 seasons are just some of the best television you'll ever watch. Some of the best like long form storytelling, some of the best individual scenes of dialogue that are just so mind blowing. You're like, how where does where does he pull this shit from? How does he just like fart out this, you know, see again, seemingly, yeah,
And then
David
describe it
Milch
like that
just sitting
somehow.
there like, you know, just doing the most profound shit on earth, um, casually in the setting of this Western. Like so many moments throughout that series that are just like, ugh,
Also, I
like,
think just hands down the most devastating fight sequence of any show I've ever seen. The
Oh, that
fist
yep,
was
fight.
rough. That was
Yeah.
rough.
the fight
And
Because
you
in the
see
as
the
soon as you
aftermath.
said that, I know what sequence you're talking
the
about.
Yep.
fight in the
So
street
that's it.
is
The fight
iconic.
sequence
Yes. Oh my God.
in a show where a lot of people fight.
Yeah.
If you have not seen Deadwood start to finish, I encourage anybody listening to
Also,
give it a go.
I know we've had a lot of anti-heroes since then, a lot of swear engines. How many of the Doctor have we seen? Just this like broken dude who's just hanging on and trying to do what he can. Like
Oh,
we have not
Brad
seen that
Dourif
much of
just,
that.
I mean,
Oh,
literally
It,
throw a rock and you are getting like some of the most fascinating three-dimensional characters ever put on screen. Seriously.
yeah,
Like
you believe that he could not live through
it
killing another man. Like it's just
zeroing again, the level of like period detail, like and groundedness mixed with the highfalutin concepts and like, pseudo Shakespearean dialogue. I it should not have worked. And I get why eventually it became unsustainable or whatever, but you're just like, what happens if we got the 5 seasons we were supposed to get? Like,
and even the
what does it
unsustainability is just
look
it's
like?
money, what it would take. It's not
Yeah.
because it would have failed. It's just because you couldn't physically do it. It's like trying to print a book that's 2 feet thick. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I hear that though probably wasn't as good as he was in Scream 2, that Timothy Oliphant really shows up well in Deadwood.
He's Ollie
Oh,
fantastic.
hey, fuck you! I was about to
He
do that.
is
Stealing my
Ollie
shit.
fantastic
incredible.
in there.
That's why I'm here. I heard on some of these other podcasts, my brother's fucking stealing my lines and
Stealing
shit.
your lines. If he is and I am, I was about to, yeah. He is all
Mr.
fantastic in
Olive,
it.
fantastic.
Dude, John Hawkes, like
Oh, God.
fucking
Ian McShane.
Keith Carradine in the first season. Um, oh my God.
let me name an actor on that show. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did, Barum, several of them.
It's one of those
what?
where, again, if I was on a random day shuffling my list, like, I don't know, all of a sudden it's in the top five. I think I had it in my like top 15 or so. But
Yeah, you're at the
love
14
Deadwood.
mark.
I'm glad there was some support to get it up there. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, if I had done it, I'm guessing that would have been top 7 or 8. Like, I could see a few that might have edged it out, but not many.
Barum, I love to hear about your hypothetical list you didn't send in.
Hey,
Number,
I can't talk about why,
yeah,
so
fair enough.
but I do know.
Fair enough. Grace
Like,
is given. Number 19. Uh, widely hailed as now elite prestige television. It's proof that franchise TV can be adult, political, and devastating. It's a Star Wars show with no Jedi. It's Andor at 19 off of Disney Plus. Um, that was really me and Evan. We
I was
talked
gonna
about it
say,
for
didn't
our
even have it on my
2025.
list. Glad to see it
Um,
on here though.
Evan and I both rated it highly. To me, I think it's the greatest piece of live action Star Wars media that we have. Um, I was just absolutely blown away by that show. And it was a show that when it was first announced, I was like, this is dumb. Like, who wants to watch this? That was my first reaction. And, 2 seasons later, I think it's one of the best things that specifically Disney has done with the franchise since they've taken it on. But ultimately, I think it holds up. As someone who didn't grow up with the original trilogy, I think it may be my favorite part of Star Wars media. And so it's a must watch for me. And I think it is probably one of the most accessible show to non Star Wars fans or people who maybe are just a little bit outside of that space. Um,
Wait, did you just say you grew up without the original trilogy?
I had never really watched them. I mean, I was a part of
Oh,
the prequel trilogy, which I didn't love even when that was being released. And then I would have to go back, and that's when I first started going back and watching the original. So I almost watched them in chronological order more than I did uh,
interesting.
uh, the other way around. And so,
That's
yeah,
just really interesting. Like it's hard for me to imagine that was such a core part of my childhood that it feels like it shaped my perspective on everything.
Some families are not Star Wars families, and if they don't show them to you when you're a kid, how are you supposed to know about it? You know?
I
No,
took a
that's
deep
fair.
dive in
It's just an interesting perspective.
2021. I don't recommend anyone doing it, but before they started pumping out all the High Republic stuff for Star Wars, I tried to go through the entire canon in one year chronologically. And that was novels, comics, video games, shows,
That
and
was like the
movies.
original canon
Uh,
too. Like,
no, like the true Disney canon. So anything like any, because my understanding is that Legends was never considered canon in itself. It was always just side projects that, like,
50-50.
yeah. And so, I really started with like all the new novels they dropped and went back through that, which was it. That's a lot of media. I don't recommend anyone do that now because they just continue to pump out more books every year, and it was time consuming. But Andor's high up for me, and that's why it's number 19. Number 18, we've got a hugely popular show that redefined masculinity and leadership during a cynical era, a fish out of water comedy that weaponized kindness off of Apple Plus and about soccer. It was Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, and that was also me. That was Gavin had it up there, and it looks like there are others that are a little bit happy about it. With none of those folks, and to not talk too much about it, I just think it's one of the most wholesome things that's ever been put on television. It makes me tear up multiple times, and I think that if more people watched it, the world would be a little bit of a better place. It's a
Yeah, for
fantastic
sure.
show.
love your positivity there. I think the show is wholesome. Not that you asked for my 2 cents, but we're getting it. It is like enjoyable and easy to watch, but it's so cliche at times that it's like difficult to um, kind of enjoy any depth of the show. It's
I
just
mean,
it's
I think I disagree. I think it leans so much into a more nuanced understanding of people's emotions that the things that even feel cliche uh, feel like they were not aired that way ever before. I think it opens up a lot of space for feelings, especially in a masculine setting like that, to be talked about in a way that was never done on television prior to
And,
that.
and mind you, I like the show. I'm not. This isn't me saying like this is a bad show. I like the show, but putting it up in the top 25 because
Is
I thought about
you're
it
the
for a
one who
second.
keeps taking pot shots about the placement and like where things are, and I'm just like, dude, this is the democratic process, dude. This is the ranked choice voting. This is
So we're not supposed to have an devil's advocate or opposing opinion.
you
Nope.
can absolutely criticize the shows. I'm just
You
saying,
know what, Alex?
like,
My bad. You are right. I feel more. My heart grew 3 sizes bigger. Going back to our
It's
Christmas
just the
list
devil's
here.
advocacy should have some like reason behind it. So
Well,
like
I
if you're
just
gonna
did.
play the devil's advocate, like
I gave a reason.
I'm just
but your
happy
reason
that
was you liked it. Just
your heart only took grew 3 sizes in a very short amount of time, unlike that bloated movie.
If that's the case, see a cardiologist. That's not good.
So we don't.
You need to see somebody.
So number 18 was Ted Lasso. Number 17, Bike Sense and Cosmic Horror, absolutely one of Netflix's defining series. It's going out with something for many, but Stranger Things is our number 17 pick, and that's going to be Patrick, Gavin, and Matthew all just leaning into the nostalgia. Stranger Things, why is it on the list, my friends?
I yeah,
Because it was good. It was. It
was first
like
season.
like 1983. That shit was 19. Anybody here remember 1983? I do. Yeah, kind of a little
Tiny
bit.
little bit.
A little bit.
Like it
Core
was
memories are forming. Those are the ones that stick out. But
like
yeah,
it wasn't the flip. It looks nothing like Saved by the Bell, which is late 80s. It looks like and feels like 1983. It's a simple story. Season 2 is still a simple story. Season 3, they are victims of their own success.
season 3 rocks. 4 is when
But
it
what
gets
about that
bad.
air conditioner that was in the alleyway shot that wasn't in existence at the time that the show was taking place? Come on,
Look,
like
look, man, you cannot catch everything when you're shooting in Atlanta, man.
Have you seen the
I
what
mean, we might
recently
as well
happened?
lower the Game of Thrones eventual conversation because of a Starbucks cup.
Right.
Shit happens.
There is something to be
but it
said.
should be lowered for that. It should be.
So there are
It'll be
reasons it should be
interesting to
lowered.
hear people.
Many reasons it should be lower. That's not one of them.
It's among many.
It is interesting to hear how people ranked some of these things, knowing that certain seasons feel like they dip, depending on the series. Because I feel like there's a little bit of like, oh, can I give it a true 10 out of 10 and have it on this list if 3 out of the 7 seasons were 6 out of 10s at best?
It's the reason why Andor wasn't on my list
Right.
because
Because there
the
wasn't
second
enough of it.
season, the second season's in 2025, which is after the 2024.
Fair enough.
So I was like, that one season is. I had to cut it because I had to get a personal favorite on my list.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why all the good ones got cut, man. Because like, no, I want to keep that. That crazy one that's not going to be on the list at all. I don't care. It's on my fucking 25.
It's on my list. It's on
That,
my
that show that's on
It
my
matters
list that
though, it is
nobody
on
else
mine
except
and
my
it
brother knows.
matters.
That's what it got cut for.
It matters to me. And by the time this episode airs, the final episode of that will conclude in Stranger Things,
Oh
which
yeah, and you can go see it in a movie theater.
I won't, but you can.
No,
I
just
mean-
Netflix,
I can't
I
on the
won't,
night it
but you
premieres though,
can.
because every show's sold out here.
Which is wild.
I'm very curious. I will go look at the seats, not to buy a ticket, but just out of sheer curiosity. I will be watching it at home. I haven't even watched the most recent batch. I need to catch up real quick, I guess, before tomorrow.
I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
you can.
you can. It's quick. It's quick.
You
It's easy.
can, but I
It's-
won't.
It's like 3 hours and 45 minutes. You're good.
Yeah.
It's
3
okay.
hours and 40.
Well, it's 3 episodes, and they're like one's like an hour 20.
Oh my
one's
God,
an hour
it's so
8.
long. You need to bring a snack, Mr. Ripley.
No, it's not
There
that
it is.
long.
I'll yeah, I'll power through. Anyways,
All
It
right.
was really good and scratched an itch. At the same time, another one that
Yeah.
was nostalgia fueled scratched the same itch for me.
And here's what I'll say. It is for its flaws, it's watchable.
Yeah.
There's like it is an easy watch and just enjoy it for what it is. Um, we put on, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, we put on all three of the new volume and just let them rolled while we were kind of vegging out, and it was great. And
Yeah.
I think I was building some bookshelves that we got for Christmas. It worked. It was fine. I do think it's stronger on the front end, but moving.
Not
For
that this
sure.
is like the overall goal of this list in any way, shape, or form, but I think for sheer like acknowledging it as a cultural phenomenon, like for a period of time, of
Fuck
the
yeah.
last 25 years, it
Absolutely.
absolutely has to be on this list somewhere. If I can complain
But
about placement, for a second while Brendan's not here to hear it in the moment. Um, yeah, I think we're all a little like, but I don't know if I want it this high, but that's obviously because it's on multiple lists and everything. That's how it shook out. Maybe we
well, if
all
you're going to
regret the
talk about
placement with, okay, now we got
if
Gavin
if
coming
you're
in.
going to talk about oh, hey Gavin. But if you're going
Quick,
to talk about the cultural significance, gotta mention at least there's some art from artist separation stuff too that I don't want to get into. But like, there's some people on that show I've got some problems with that make me not want to watch it.
that's totally fine. Gavin, you're just in time.
Yes.
What number were we?
We just wrapped up 17, which was Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Uh, do we want to recap for Gav?
Yeah, we
No,
Leading
can.
you keep
up to
going.
this
No, no, no,
point?
no. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
We'll get a recap in before we hit the number one.
Yeah,
That's
it's
I'll,
fine.
fine. Okay.
Number 16. Now that I know that Tim's list was not ranked when he sent it to me, this maybe wouldn't have been as high, seeing as it was the first one on his list, and maybe that's not where he meant to place it. But it captured millennial anxiety with brutal specificity. It's divisive. It's hugely influential, but often polarizing. Friendship as a mirror you don't always like on HBO from Lena Dunham. It's Girls.
Dude, I'm actually really happy about this. Talk about girls, Tim.
It was your number
Okay.
one, if you didn't know.
No, no, no. Is number two. So when I started crafting this, my wife was with me. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna actually start a pod from the beginning with these guys. I need to come up with 25 TV shows." And of course, Elisa's first one was Girls on HBO. So that's why it's number two on my list. Um, that being said, this was like one of the first like HBO Sunday shows that my wife and I like watched, and I'm not like the biggest Lena Dunham fan, but it's a great show. It's a fun, it's hilarious, great performances from the four core cast members. All the ancillary members, really, really funny. Adam Driver, right? Adam Driver's first, like I
That's
would
the
say
start of Adam
breakout.
Driver. That's the breakout of Christopher Abbott. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Solid HBO show. It's not my number two, just to clarify. It's not.
Well, okay, it's not on my list either, but this is a show I absolutely love and is on my
Mhm.
long list because yeah, this was like late college for me. Uh living alone, watching catching up on like the first maybe it was in its second season, but I was like slightly late to the party and then, followed it religiously for the remaining two or three seasons. Uh but yeah, I thought like consistently super funny, like, you know, shocking in an HBO sort of way. But also kind of groundbreaking for the time in terms of like putting a lot of stuff on screen that like hadn't you don't really see in shows and maybe haven't really seen since. Um, and yeah, I I know she's tried her hand at some movies that have not gone over well. Uh, but I would be very interested in like another HBO show from her as a creative. But anyways, I'm totally happy with it. Brendan would be probably losing his mind right now. Gavin, he's been very upset. I don't know if he's like gone in protest or he just has a bad connection right now, but he's been very upset about the list thus far. All
Gonna
because
say bad connection.
all because Band of Brothers was ranked at the 21 slot. bear in mind that he submitted his list well after the deadline and also did not submit a full list, and so it was not counted. And so I think that's why he's even more upset. Anyways, uh,
Number 15, an 18-hour dream that dares you to keep up. It's revered by critics, but baffling to many viewers. I hope you put a cup of black coffee out under your Christmas tree this year for David Lynch. It's Twin Peaks: The Return. And that was really me, Noah, and Gavin that
okay.
elevated that to where it was. Um, Noah or Gavin.
I want
Why
Gavin. I want
why
Gavin to talk about it.
Gavin, tell me about Twin Peaks: The Return, bud.
I mean, if you, I feel bad for the people, and I'm sure maybe like Patrick might be able to speak to this if he followed it, and maybe Matthew. But like, can you imagine waking up after the season 2 finale of Twin Peaks? Like, well, how's Annie? And like, that's it. And then you imagine if you don't make it to the return, you know? And all this time that's passed in between, I mean, it was appointment television, and I caught it late, and that's probably my favorite David Lynch thing, just for what it is. But regardless of like Firewalk with Me and stuff like that. So when they're like, Noah tells me, hey, they're gonna like, he's finally convinced somebody to give him enough money to just do this thing again, and it really, I don't know, doesn't really answer anything, but still gives you everything you want, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. And I mean, my only mark against it would be that the sheriff isn't back, that actor, but you got Robert Forster instead, which is perfectly fine with me. And everybody else that still was in the original running of the series just, makes a cameo when they can. Um, and it's also like probably some of the most terrifying stuff I've ever seen in my life with, got a light. Like that's just that's unsettling. But but yeah, wait up. I don't know. I like it when people who maybe I don't know. I don't think you get this from him if they give him a third season back in the 90s. But just I don't know. I think about that waiting of all the people who were like, huh, people who were into the show at that point because it was solely for people who loved it by that point. It wasn't for mainstream people when season 2 ended and then like nothing. And you have to wait all this time to get, you know, and so yeah, that's why I think it deserves to be there within the
Okay,
last 25 years because it took so
absolutely.
long.
And we haven't really like thus far singled out individual episodes, but um, God of Light, as you mentioned, episode 8 is up there, I would say, for like episodes of uh, the last 25 years. If we're talking about individual singular episodes, that I think would be in consideration for at least the top five. So yeah, I've spoken at length about it. I have nothing new to say. Still, you know, at the, all the way here at the end of 2025, still processing the fact that David Lynch is not with us anymore, unfortunately. But I will be doing my annual rewatch, which I usually start in late October into November. But I just, there was a lot of other stuff going on this year. But I'll get around to it, and it's always a lovely experience. I've gone back to the return about 5 or 6 times now, total, and it's my favorite thing, period. Like separate of movies or like television, kind of transcends everything. It's my favorite piece of art in my lifetime. Is Twin Peaks: The Return. I think it's the best 18 hours you can spend. Uh, it it's very rewarding. It makes you wait. It makes you wait. It's about patience. It's about expectations. And it's about a lot of things. It's the best thing ever. I'm so glad it's on the list. I knew it wasn't gonna like crack the top five or anything, even with some support, but I'm just glad it's on here. Very happy. We can move along.
All right. Let's go to the opposite end of the genre spectrum. So number 14, a cult favorite, one of TV's great anti-heroes played for comedy and tragedy. It's talent without humility. It's Eastbound and Down.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
we that is
So much yes.
Noah, that is Evan, that is Tim that all elevated it to where it sits in the 14th spot. Tim, Eastbound and Down. Talk to me about it, bud.
Eastbound and Down is a 10 out of 10 show, period. Danny McBride is a national treasure. Uh, we quote that movie many times throughout the week, or not movie, quote the series many times throughout the week, and it is just pee yourself laughter, and it's just a good time. And I have elements of that character in
All
me.
McBride characters in you somewhere, all twisted up.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's just it's the best. Uh, I would even where did it land in my not ranked list? It's probably
It
pretty accurate.
it looked
Uh,
like it was in the 14 spot.
yeah, that's probably like a number 10 in actuality for me.
It
Probably
is
my top comedy.
it is my number five on my
Nice.
overall list. Because I mean, even just looking at my list, I'm like, yes, I think it is the funniest show of the last 25 years for my personal taste. And I totally recognize that that's not everybody's taste, but
Well, there's
uh
like there's a nostalgia. Like I remember the days of like box set DVDs, and when we lived across from each other, we
well,
just
and
burned through
also
box sets, and that being
well,
one
and
of them.
also pirating. Well, no, I had to like pirate the second season because I didn't have access
That's
to
right. Yeah,
HBO.
yeah.
Uh
It is not on my list, but it is the second
Oh,
TV
we were
show that
such
I have a
children then.
personal connection to. Uh, in that a friend of mine from college was in an episode of Mindhunter, and a much better, closer friend of mine in college is Danny McBride's stunt double for Eastbound and Down,
like the whole
Oh, that's
run of the
awesome.
show.
Dang.
like the whole run of the show.
That's awesome.
Uh, just a little plug here. I met Danny McBride a few weeks back. A couple months ago? Was it a couple months ago? Noah, didn't I tell you about that?
I know you have not. No.
When I was still dating Tyler, we went to Seahorse downtown, and they were closing up. It was raining out, and Tyler went to go fall, and me and this dude, 'cause she slipped on the step, caught her. And I looked over at the guy to like thank him, and I was like, "Oh, Danny McBride." He's like, "Hey man, is the bar still open?" And then
Okay.
Tyler looked back at me and he was like, "Did Danny McBride just save me from falling?" I was like, "Well, we both did, but yeah."
But,
Mostly me, but Danny McBride helped
yeah,
a little.
he helped.
But
Hey,
but
hey,
he
Brent,
but he happened to
Brent,
be there.
Brendan, is Tyler really short with like a short pixie haircut and surfs a lot?
I'm sure you're referencing a TV show. Not that I'm aware
No.
of.
It's a
No.
it's a
Okay.
it's a film. It's a
It's
film.
okay.
Her name is Lori Petty. No,
Mm.
okay. I guess not, Brendan. Never mind.
No,
I was
nope.
just asking, dude. I was
Just
just
putting it out there, y'all. It's gonna go over my head.
It's Point Break
Moving
here.
on to number
Point Break.
13. Let's take a little trip over to the Sci-Fi Network. Highly respected, the genre bias limits wider acclaim. It's science fiction that asks moral questions instead of offering just escape. It's reimagined genre TV as a political allegory post 9/11. Bears, beats, it's Battlestar Galactica. And that is lifted up high because of Patrick and Matthew Blanchard. Matthew had it
Yeah,
as your number one.
absolutely.
All right, talk to me,
Um,
buddy.
this is number one for me because not only of the way that it structured its response to 9/11, the way that it spoke to the way that audiences were feeling about uh, our own leadership, the failures of it, the choices that we were confronted with, and about our own agency and our own governance, but also because I grew up with Battlestar Galactica. The cheesy ass Battlestar Galactica. I see Patrick frothing when I say it. The original 1979, 1980 Battlestar Galactica. This sets the tone for remake reimaginings, right? This shows, gives a blueprint to creators that come after that this is what you can do when you dissect something, completely dismantle it and build it from scratch again. I feel that in some ways, some of the television reimaginings, requels, the shows that come back don't have that kind of chutzpah to go further. If Ron Moore doesn't do this to Battlestar Galactica in 2004, and it's some of the tightest writing on pay cable TV ever.
Interesting. Can I ask a question? So with the original, I've heard, I have not seen either. I have heard there is also a lot of like Mormon overlap. Is that like with Cobalt Kolob that one of the writers was a like devout Mormon? Does that go back to the original or is that in the new remake or the newer
That's
remake?
that's more the remake. The
Okay.
original series is way more a cheap knockoff of Star Wars, more than anything else.
I gotcha.
Interlay with
So
Egyptology.
yes,
I
Egyptology
have
was
such a
huge in the late 70s.
I have such like a deep fascination with like the Mormonism stuff, Mormonism and Scientology in particular, but I've heard a lot of recommendations that it's amazing, but also that it has a lot of weird, like interesting overlap with Mormon mythology that's like woven into it. So it's one of those I've been really wanting to get to and have a lot of material to burn through.
It's it's absolutely in there, but it's not a direct undercurrent of what the main thrust of the story is.
Oh, so it's not
And
like an
it
obvious
drifts a little
thing.
bit in later seasons. I will grant this. The Cylons have a plan is the starting premise of the show, but they don't.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not a good plan if
Well,
they do.
there's no like, critique of the show for that because I think honestly Joseph Smith was a very interesting sci-fi writer in his own way.
Yeah,
But
much like
it's
L. Ron
one of those things that's
Hubbard,
really interesting to me.
creator of Scientology.
Absolutely, my two favorite cults.
Nice. Well, if you enjoy that kind of cultism, the Cylons are fun to watch. I'll just put it that
That really makes me want to. And so, how many seasons are there total?
four, four,
Okay, that sounds like a
and
really
they're shorter
nice.
seasons. Because
I'm also a
Sci-Fi I
huge
think
like
did like 18 orders, so 18 tops per season.
okay, because I'm also like a huge Star Trek like the TNG era fan. So it's one of those that it's been like kind of on my periphery for a long time. I just have never actually had a reason to go start it.
I was gonna say, you guys,
Absolutely.
Matthew has been trying to get me into Trek for years. And like Barham has been like a Trek
No, I'll
convert
record
just
with
in
you.
the last like several years, as like you've watched pretty much all of it,
2019.
right? Yeah,
Yeah. My partner
like
Tari, I had
everything.
never seen a single episode of any of the shows up until 2019ish. And my partner Tari, who I started dating in 2018, um, grew up on it, so they got me into it, and it is one of the most rewatchable. I have not seen every single bit. I cannot do Enterprise. That opening theme song just rips me away from it. The,
Ironically, I'm right there
it
with
just
you.
takes me so out.
Yeah.
But like it's gone through all the TNG era. I love the original for campiness, and like if I had done my list, there's a very good chance Picard would have been on there somewhere. Like they've gotten some really good recent things that have changed from like the format of their older stuff.
Yeah.
But
Strange New Worlds is
yeah.
absolutely in my top 25.
Oh, yeah, no, that one I've had a lot of fun with, and also the animated series Lower Decks has. I
Mhm.
was hesitant to watch it, but that has become one of my absolute favorites. That also probably would have been on the list had I done the list.
100%. Battlestar is a little bit darker than your Star Trek
See,
standard
I
Star Trek
liked
take.
that though.
Discovery kind of comes close to Galactica in tone,
Okay.
but Eddie Olmos's main conceit when he signed the contract was, "I'm never seeing a fucking alien." So there
Yeah,
are no
I
like
love something like
visual
that.
aliens.
Though.
Uh, Eddie Olmos is, by the way, still very much carrying the torch for Battlestar Galactica. I met him at a convention 2 years ago, and the man pulled up articles about AI as kind of generative AI was at the forefront. It was like, look at this. It's just like Battlestar. And he talked to me for like 50 minutes. And it was like, Jesus, dude. You're you want to talk about anything else in your career? No, we're just gonna talk about AI. Cool. I'm here
Nope.
for it.
All right. Well, that I think
Moving
that might be the thing I need to actually just kick that off.
moving along to our number 12 spot. No heroes, no villains, just symptoms. Some would say the most sociological, ambitious series ever made. Critics say yes. Casual viewers often struggle with it. But from David Simmons on HBO, we have The Wire.
David Simon. David Simon.
Simon, thank you. Simmons,
How
Simon,
dare you?
dyslexia.
How dare you?
No worries. Who?
The
Simon
Wire.
Simon.
Anybody else? Anybody else who had this on their list?
This would have been this was Noah and it was Gavin. Both highly rated enough to get it to where it is today.
Would have been top five easily. Top five, no
Num
doubt.
Number six on my personal list.
So low.
Gav's the most recent convert. Actually, Gav
What?
just burned through it in the last year, right? So speak on it,
Yeah.
brother.
Um, it's one of those that you get sucked in immediately just by every single angle. I mean, I don't know. There's police procedural that you see that everybody knows that's been around forever. And to get this kind of take on it of like, okay, you guys are kind of like, you're just here. We don't know if anything's going to happen here, but you're not really here to do anything big, but you could try. And just the monotony of like, I don't know. I think Lester just explaining everything about like, this is how a wiretap works. You got to do this, we got to do this, and just showing you like the minutia of what it takes just to get, you know, a wiretap on someone's phone to hopefully hear them. Just all that background that goes into all that police work that in any other show is like, oh, we did that during the commercial. You weren't paying attention. Like, we already got all that blood and lab and all that stuff back and the transcripts, and we're going to trial it. We got 48 minutes. So we're at minute 30. We're going to trial now. You know, what are you doing? And to just have it sit and go an entire season of this is how this is what all these guys in the towers are doing. This is the power play for who's going to run what. This is what McNulty's dealing with. This is what the Buck is dealing with. Just all that stuff. And then I get so many, and it just keeps building and building and building,
Yeah.
and it could easily, you know, now it couldn't come back now because some of the prime people, even though they are not alive in the show, I would want them to do something for them now, and they aren't alive anymore in real life. But I I would love it if they did something with it, being that it's been, close to 20 years since it came on. But I also don't want them to do anything else with it. It's kind of perfect how it is. Um,
I
and
could
I feel like
tolerate a requel.
I mean, if you're going to do anything
Maybe.
with it, if you're going to do anything with it, you have to, you just have to do it. Just give me a different, I want a different city. Like,
Yeah.
you get Baltimore, and then we own the city Baltimore, and then we've got all
And
this Baltimore
Reno.
stuff. Yeah, literally any
Did
other town. If you did
did
it,
you
I would
have
watch another 5 seasons.
Gavin? Did you ever watch Treme?
I watched the first episode, dude. I watched the guy who plays Lester like in the street with the gear on, like trying to convince him, and I was like, "This is great." And then some other show came out, and I was like, "I'm gonna watch this instead."
You said you
So
wanted another
it's
city, post Katrina, New Orleans, 3 seasons of Treme. Great
yeah,
show.
but like, are they cops? Are they trying to do
It
whatever? Or
said
it's just
it's
it's a whole. I get it. It's not, but it's
what's the thing with The Wire? You think it's
It
cops and
switches.
robbers, you think it's cops and drug dealers. It's not. It's about the entire city. Like that's
yeah,
what the show is. It's a mosaic of the entire city
Well,
over
that's
the
what
course of five
separates it.
seasons. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what really separates it from everything else is that it changes from one season. You start with your cops and robbers to introduce you to the city and the place, and then you expand out. You get the unions, you get the politicians, you get the not just the robbers, but the higher level things. And then
Speaking
by the
of,
end of it, you come back around.
yeah, you come full circle with
I
all
was
of
gonna- You
those
come back around to
interwoven
like all of
because
your
you have
heroes,
the perspective. I just want to say while you're bringing up
and
the
you realize you're
politicians,
back at the same place.
yeah. Uh, I just saw literally like before we started recording earlier that the incomparable Isaiah Whitlock Jr. passed away. Uh, so it might be awkward for 8 white guys to do it, but do we want to do like a customary shit in his honor?
I think you just did,
I think
Matthew.
I
That was
think I think
beautiful.
it'll
You
just
just
be me.
did.
I think it'll just be me.
And it worked. It worked great.
But yes, he passed away after a short
Oh,
God
illness. There
damn.
was no further details, but he was in his early 70s. So
Oh,
R.I.P.
lots
But
of
yes, he
stuff
was
about him
Senator
lately. I've
Clay
been
Davis on The Wire, is probably where a lot of people would know him from. But many appearance in a lot of
also
Spike
like
Lee films as well. Yeah.
a
oh, so
dozen different episodes of Law and Order at least.
everybody got their star, not their star, but everybody who's anybody now was on the wire. Idris
This
Elba and Wood Harris, everybody that you
God,
like. Oh shit, our boy, the other Schreiber brother, him,
Pablo.
Pablo Schreiber. Like everybody,
look,
you
okay,
look at
little
the wire, and
brother.
you're like, oh
Oh,
shit,
and
they're
excuse,
so
I mean,
young.
sorry, not to get even sadder, but of course we just also lost James Ransom earlier this
Yeah.
true.
week to
Hmm.
suicide, unfortunately,
Yeah.
who played Ziggy in season 2. Uh, yeah,
Shit.
so yes,
God
rough time
damn.
for the Wire crew, but just wanted to shout those out because those very very memorable characters and performances from some great
Was
actors.
there ever a not rough time for the Wire crew, Tari? Or I mean Noah, they were
That's
always going through some shit.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, fantastic show. If we were doing a best of versus a favorites, uh, I would, we would recalibrate, and this would probably be damn near the top. This is like, you know, this is like kind of transcends the medium or gets as close as you can to it, where it like kind of redefines what you can do with long form storytelling.
Well, and also you were talking about how like the season is wavering. I feel like this one you can only consider it in whole because the whole thing is it feels contiguous and like no one part of it
Yeah,
works without the
absolutely.
rest of it in the same way.
Yeah.
Like it just
Especially
elevates.
how you get with the kids in one season, and then like you kind of
Well, it's
watch
the
where they go from
that's the
there.
best season, and that's the
Yeah,
thing
it
is like
And
is.
you see the
Yeah.
next yes.
you think
What is
season
that,
three,
4?
yeah, that's 4. You think season
Yeah.
3 is the peak of the series. You're like, there's no way it can get better than this, and that's what I love about the show is it constantly recalibrates and gear shifts perspective, and it's like it will get you invested in shit that you were like, there's no way you're gonna make me care about union dock workers and like their personal
Or
bullshit, and like season
or the school
2.
system.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, season 4 is the best. Season 4 with the kids. It's the most devastating, but it's also like, you know,
Well, and you take a character that like you hated, Presbalewski, and like the first year, just like this little
oh
fucking
yeah,
twerp, and then you see the evolution of a person like really find their place and figure out what they are like meant to do in the world, and you also still see that same futility they still
yeah,
fighting against, and it's
yeah,
somehow even more devastating than when it's dealing with people like selling drugs and shooting each other.
yeah. It's all about the cycles. And that's pretty much every David Simon project is here's why things are and why they're never gonna change. Basically. So yeah, The
And
Wire.
it has Wire has a pedigree that is connected across the police procedural network
Oh, absolutely.
because of the appearance of Belzer as Munch.
Hmm. And is it Homicide, Life on the Street
Life
is
on the
the
Street.
first
Yep.
kind of David Simon project.
Well, he was
It's it.
he was the
Did he work on Hill
showrunner
Street
from
as well?
2 onward. No, no, no. It's
Okay,
Homicide.
gotcha,
But he wasn't the creator of Homicide. He was, I think, a pool writer in the first season, and then became the head writer in season 2.
gotcha.
I just
Uh,
recently watched 2 different crossovers with Homicide and Law and Order.
Yeah, Homicide,
Classic.
fantastic series as well.
yeah, if we were
Not
talking the last
eligible. Yeah, I was
century,
gonna say not eligible for this list, but
high up
definitely
there.
definitely would be up
Yep.
there. All right, we can
I
move
would argue
along.
the same for Law and Order. Yeah,
Yeah.
Talking about
but
switching cities, let's move on to our number 11 pick. Nostalgically beloved, defined long form superhero television. If you're curious as how long it takes to become Superman, it's 10 seasons of Smallville.
Did we love all those 10 seasons, guys? All 10 of them,
That's
start
a
to
that's a
finish.
Matthew and Patrick question.
That
have
is
not seen a
for
one.
sure.
I mean,
All right.
now, yes.
Yeah, looking back, yes. Smallville is on the list because Smallville was the most, well, first off, it is the progenitor of the entire CW superhero fucking genre. None of that exists without Smallville. But also because it was the most nimble CW series, I think, prior to Supernatural, right? It is a different series in season 1 and 2 than it is in season 3 and 4, than it is in 5 and 6, than it is in 7, 8, and 9. It keeps changing its main focus and its storytelling approach to try to fit the times of what's happening on that network so that it's still tapping into that CW, let's get the latest artist and let's get the latest product placement vibe of the early 2000s, but still keeping it in that arc of Clark's growth to Superman. The fact that they're able to kind of tack that and the changes in budget and all the things that happened in that series and still managed to be consistent more or less toward the story, I think it's just definitely puts it high on the list. And Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor was the best Lex Luthor before Michael Cudlitz in Superman and Lois, discussed earlier on the pod.
Well, there you go. For all its flaws and all of its actors' flaws, with some of our core crew. Talking about joining cults, am I right? All right.
Joining fucking leading
Yes,
cults.
leading cults. Cult leader.
Wait, who led a cult? What am I missing here? Who led this
Allison
cult?
Mack, who
Yeah.
played the
Oh
character
no,
of Chloe Sullivan.
no. I know
she
her.
was one
I
of the
know that.
leaders
Yep.
of the Nexium.
Yeah,
cult.
Nexium.
I know that one. Yep,
Hmm.
that's a good one too. That's like top tier for the last like 2 decades. That cult.
Yeah.
The call was always coming from inside the house. The villain is there.
And she preyed on like the female cast of both that show and Battlestar Galactica and Stargate Atlantis.
She's like
the
she's tied
Canadian
in.
actresses got yanked into Nexium through Allison Mack from Smallville.
When can we do top 25 cults the last 25 years? When can we do that?
Oh God. Dude, I'll start writing my list now. I will
Okay,
do
great.
it.
The Hale
I don't
thing's,
think
like,
I
too
have a
far back,
definitive
right?
ranking.
Hell, Bob.
All right, we have made it to the top 10. Number 10, beloved from critics and creatives alike, TV's most universally praised finale, and brought such emotional honesty to the television set. A family business centered on death. Alan Ball's
Oh,
6 Feet Under is the number 10 spot.
Hell yeah.
amazing.
That is Noah, and that is Tim.
My
that
brother.
elevated it to this position. What are your
Absolutely,
thoughts?
on my honorable mentions list.
Love that. And obviously would have been on Barham's as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. That would have been probably
Barham
top
said that
three.
about every show we've mentioned so far. So
This
said
is
about,
true.
like,
This is
four
very
shows.
true. This is
Four.
very true with 6 Feet Under. But
6 Feet Under, Deadwood, and The Wire are all top fives for me, like 100%. That was also the era when Noah and I lived across from each other and would just binge through either box sets or rip shit. And yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, Tim, 6 Feet Under, man. Speak
Yeah,
on it.
man.
I think I kind of like, I remember like repeatedly telling you like you need to watch this one because it's one of those I think.
Probably when you and Barham lived across from each other is when you recommended it, and just one of those started it and immediately got sucked in, and just really really cool structure, like such a family that owns a funeral home. Like you're like this is going to be weird, but it's the characters that you fall in love with. Everyone's amazing in that show, and it's cool how like every episode starts with a death, like, and so you like look forward to that when you like click on the next episode. It's just
Very
it's one of the
bingeable in this era
yeah
for sure, in that way where it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna at least watch like, I'll watch the death opening, and then it's like, well, shit,
Mhm.
now I got to see what happens with that body. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But then
It's
you might think that desensitizes you to deaths, and it does not.
Not
It
at
does
all.
not make you desensitized at
This
all.
is one of those that I think is like essential viewing for everyone because I don't know. I think it talks about the one thing that like nobody wants to talk about, and it talks about it for 5 seasons straight, like with a very straight face, and like interrogates it in all sorts of different ways through a lot of different characters, a lot of different perspectives. But the dreamlike nature of the show, the fact that Nate goes into these spaces where like sometimes we don't know if he's dreaming, we don't, that little like magic sauce combined with, the opening deaths or whatever, just always gave it this air of like anything could happen on this show at any given moment. And you
Truly.
never quite knew like how crazy the stakes were gonna get. Case in point, um, an episode like That's My Dog, which is in like the third or fourth season, which I won't spoil for anybody who hasn't watched the series, but is a break from format in as much as the show always up to that point shifting perspective pretty much constantly throughout the episode between multiple subplots and stories. And it's the one episode where all of a sudden you find yourself like, we're sticking with this. Like what? And it ends up becoming like one of the most upsetting and emotionally devastating episodes they ever do in that series. But it's part of it is your relationship to that structure and them kind of like breaking it, but after a very long time of like, this is how we do things. Um, that's another singular episode that I would put in consideration for the last 25 years, along with
No,
the finale, which is
no, absolutely.
just the best shit ever. The final like 10 minutes of 6 Feet Under is like just go watch
So
it
good.
on YouTube. I mean, yeah, seriously, if you just need to just let it all out, that's a good that's a good valve to pull on. Just go cue that up on YouTube.
That song still makes me cry. I cannot stay dry eyed when that song comes on.
You can't listen
I
to
haven't
it.
been able to
Can't
since.
can't just
No,
like throw it on a playlist. Absolutely
nope, cannot.
impossible. Can only be experienced in the context of that show. Yes.
But also, it's devastating. But also, it is satisfying. I feel whole at the end of
Oh,
that
it
ending.
is again, like I said, I think it's hands down the best finale of anything we're gonna discuss, period. It's still all these years later. I think it's the best finale, period.
Yeah, nobody's been able to top that.
Yeah.
Moving on to number nine, a show that changed the scale and ambition of television forever. I think that is undeniable. Uh, Feelings towards it are now complicated due to later seasons.
Yeah,
Powers always borrowed, people. HBO, it's Game of Thrones in our number nine spot. And that is myself, Gavin, Matthew, all had it
oh,
on the list. And for me personally,
So did Brendan.
it is the last time that idea of kind of like water cooler television. If you didn't watch on Sunday night, you had no idea what people were talking about on Monday morning. I think that was the
yeah,
last time I allowed people to be in my house after 9 p.m. on a school night because we would have people come over to watch it. And I can't remember a show since then that type of feeling where it's Sunday at 9, who's coming over, who's bringing the dip, and then everyone shuts up for an hour and we get after it. And I think that I kind of miss that aspect of television here and there. This is one of the last shows that did
absolutely.
that, even at its worst. And you know,
No, yeah,
I I was specifically, I was working summer camp and we broke camp curfew to finish the third season um, because it was getting into that time where campers were showing up. And me and four other people decided to watch the Red Wedding on Sunday night and then have to be at breakfast the next morning with campers, and we were just all dead faced and not engaging with anyone, and people were having to come check in on us to be like, "Are y'all okay?" And we're just like, "I don't talk to us. I don't know what we just watched." Deeply powerful episodes. At its best, it's the best. At its worst, it definitely has some hiccups, but I think it rightfully has earned
Mm.
its spot.
I think it's the only satisfaction I get out of the dips is that Benioff and Weiss lost their Star Wars project. I think worse should have happened to them for that. I think it was clear that they took what was my most beloved thing in my life and they just stopped caring. And rather than hand it off to someone who still cared, they just phoned it in, and we all suffered. That
Matthew,
was
Gavin, what would you like to add?
I was a latecomer by a lot
Same.
to Game of Thrones.
Same.
I'm that guy who if you push me and say you should watch this, you really should watch this. Why the fuck aren't you watching this? I just go cold. Um, I literally only watched this as an exchange with my now wife to get her to watch Battlestar Galactica. And then immediately got hooked. It was sold to me wrong. A lot of people were like, "You like Lord of the Rings, man? You should love this." Ain't the fucking same. Fuck you. There's nothing, no connection. But if somebody had been like, "You like political intrigue," I don't think and there's a lot of political intrigue on my list. There's a lot of political intrigue on my honorable mentions. I'm not sure that castle intrigue is done any better on television than in Game of Thrones. And I think that's a high bar to cross.
yeah.
There you
I
go.
mean, at its top, it was when the final season was airing. I literally my local bar around the corner. I baked like period appropriate meat pies and took them to the bar for the people that couldn't like watch it when it was airing. Like I was that was event television. My core group of
Absolutely.
friends every Sunday. Yeah, it was somehow probably the most universal show amongst people that I was around every day that I've ever watched. Everybody was into it. Some
Well,
for
there you
different
go.
reasons, but
Number 9, Game of Thrones. Number 8, we're gonna stick with HBO so that we can watch some billionaires who can't buy love or respect.
Yes.
Razor sharp writing and a modern Shakespearean cruelty. It's Succession. And that was Noah, Gavin, Evan, Matthew, and Tim all had Succession on the list. So speak on it, my friends. Why, as someone who has never seen an episode of Succession, watch this wonderful show.
I love to hate the Roy family. It is that fucking simple. These people are terrible, and the choices they make get worse and worse and worse every fucking week. Watching Womscams just slowly become this creature by the end of the series is just the best.
It, I mean, yeah, I think for my money, from a pure like dialogue perspective,
Yeah.
it's my favorite writing of the last 25 years. It's
really above
so,
Deadwood.
it's so fucking funny.
It's crisp.
So fucking funny. The energy, the way it again shoots like again, people talking in rooms, but makes it feel like I fucking like, my heart is racing. There's like an energy to this. And the way it gets you to not empathize, but invest in
Yes.
some of the most fucking like atrocious characters ever put on screen is pretty fascinating. And the way the show like makes you interrogate your relationship to those characters over time is also very interesting. I think it has one of the ballsiest final seasons of any show
Yes.
we're going to discuss and executes it like perfectly. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Alex, if you're looking for a two-word answer, it's Brian Cox.
Yes.
That's all.
that too.
Just
Yeah,
that's it. Brian Cox. Oh, fuck off. Like that's it. That's all you need. Just go in for him and you're going to be hooked by everything else.
yeah. But also, I mean, Matthew highlighted Tom
Tom Wamsgans.
Wamsgams, played by Matthew McFadden,
Hmm.
is
Oh,
and
yes, a thousand
particularly
percent.
the disgusting brothers, dude. His relationship with cousin
Yes.
Greg
Yes.
is
Ooh,
one of my favorite things ever,
like
ever on
you
HBO.
start the show and you think Tom is like, oh, he's like the normal guy here.
Exactly.
He's gonna come out of this unscathed. And holy fuck no. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Uh, it's
And
it's
Kieran Culkin, dude. Kieran.
Yeah.
Kieran.
Yes.
Just
yes, and
if you like him for
Give
anything, this
Fuller his
is
Pepsi. He deserves it.
exactly
there's
100%.
there's a reason why he won all the Emmys and then won all the Oscars and all the film awards for the movie he did subsequent of Succession because everybody's
Yeah.
just like, okay, we need to fully recognize that like that guy
And
Got
knows
the
the
what he's
chops.
doing.
and the
He really
fucking
does.
incestuous relationship that develops with him and
Oh my gosh, wait, her
yeah,
name escapes me. Oh my gosh.
same. The
It's so good. Everyone is so incredible. The
yeah,
whole
the whole
supporting
cast,
cast, it's
everything's great.
it's just it's incredible. It's one of the best HBO shows. I'm very happy that it's up here. Anybody else have anything they want to share about Succession?
All right, moving on along to number 7. Kind of a controversial pick, I would say, mainly because it would seem that later seasons tend to dilute the brand a little bit. Murder mystery, true crime. It's a little different every season, but the whole series is what we're talking about. It's our number 7 choice because of Noah, Gavin, Evan, Tim. It's True Detective on
Late
HBO.
later seasons seem to dilute it.
Hey, that's
Okay,
that's
no, the
that's the
second
general
season dilutes it.
consensus, my friend.
Second
The
If
season
by
the
later
dilutes
you mean
general
season two,
the generally
Yeah.
agreed upon opinion, which is in fact wrong, is that season two is bad and then everything else is an improvement. Um, all four
How is that
seasons
wrong,
of
Noah?
all four seasons of True Detective fucking rule. That's
Yes,
all I'm
a
here to
thousand
say.
percent.
This
They're
Especially
is not
season
an
they're
two,
opinion piece.
because
they're all incredible.
none of you realize that season two is actually an allegory about what happened to the state of California, in which the big tire companies came in and ripped up all the public infrastructure and forced people to drive cars, and no one batted an eye. And that's exactly what was happening, only with the rail thing in Vinci. And Colin Farrell, guys, come on.
Ray Belcoro,
Velcoro is the best.
one of the
Are
best of the
we
last 25 years.
the
He's
problem
no
I
Russ
have with
Cole, but
season
he's
two
great.
is I didn't watch season one, so I was watching season one and season two concurrently
Why would you
I can
do
see
that?
that.
because I was like, oh, it's premiering, so I got to watch season one to catch up, and I'm already
I
late for season two, and then I'm like, this one's really good. This one's a hot mess.
I did that too, Patrick. I watched the episode in season two where Velcoro gets shot, new on vacation at the beach in Florida, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this show?" And one of the people I was there with was like, did you see season one?" Well, no, who's in it? McConaughey. Wait, what? So then I immediately stop and I watch all of season one. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go through season two, like, are we going, they're gonna tie it back to the first one, right? Like there's gonna be something here, right? It's not just the name, right? And then season two, and then I was like, I dig Vince Vaughn. He's good. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then I got season three, and I was like, all right. I love Mahershala Ali. Steven Dorff has been the
Knocks it
guy.
out of the park in that season. Okay, I
Yes,
will say that.
exactly. And then
This was one that was off my list for a personal favorite. It had to get cut. Killed my darling.
it's my number one on my list. True Detective. That was it. So we'll see what actually the consensus number one is. But yeah, it's perfect television, man. I've watched season one more times than any other show.
I was gonna say
Season
it
one's
is the
great.
one
They're all good. Season one's great.
yeah.
One of
I
the most
will
rewatchable things
I
I've
was gonna
ever
say, yeah,
seen.
it's the one singular season of television that I have seen more than any other season of television. Because yeah, for a while it was like, yeah, once a year I'll throw that back on, independent of a rewatch of the whole series. I'll just rewatch season one because it's that good. Yeah,
I will say, just so for my own personal benefit, season 4 is the lowest ranked averaging a 6 out of 10 per
Really?
episode on IMDb.
Oh, that's rough.
So,
that is review bombing on IMDb.
well, there you go. I don't know what to
That's
tell
review
you.
bombing.
It is what it is. My preamble stands, Noah.
It's literally because it's
I would go
directed by a
one,
woman
four, three,
starring Jodie
two.
Foster. It
Yeah.
has been review bombed on IMDb. I hate to break it to
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
absolutely the
yeah.
second best season. Yeah.
Let's move on to number 6. No preamble needed. Do you like a good walk and talk? Because this show perfected it. It's The West Wing on NBC, Aaron Sorkin. And
Rob
that is
who? Rob where? Rob High?
Rob Lowe,
Oh, okay.
motherfucker, coming in with the lowest of low of the dulcet tones.
Patrick and Matthew with the number 1 and number 2 entry of The West Wing, which is always one of those shows where I watch the first 3 seasons and then find myself hitting a detour and then never finishing it. But I always really enjoy the first 3 seasons, but I feel like I have to rewatch them to get back in the groove, and I just never make it into season 4. There's so
I can
many
absolutely
shows.
see that.
Yeah.
Season 4 is a real high point, right? Like if you want to dump out after any season, finish with 4. Because that's when Sorkin leaves and the show kind of it kind of gets pulled down by the John Wells production of it all and becomes a little more like a political version of ER. But those first 4 seasons are fucking magical. The fact that Aaron Sorkin, and he didn't always, but the fact that he wrote every single one of those 22 per season with no other writers except someone in the room is a feat. I mean,
Wait, is the someone in the room cocaine? Is that what we're?
yes,
Is that
yes,
okay?
that's
I
the
was gonna
someone in the
say
room,
that you could
sir.
just
Thank
say
you.
it. I mean,
Is
I
that
think
someone
he's
in the
pretty
room?
open about the fact that
Yes, yes.
They
one of
gotta
those
be
seasons
walking. They have to walk.
one of those was
Gotta
literally
move.
written on not just cocaine, but crack cocaine
Yes.
specifically, if I'm not
Shit.
mistaken. That's
Correct.
the one that's really out there.
Well, that's a problem. Like,
Right. But it's a feather in the cap of I think everybody involved. Like Bradley Whitford is amazing in a lot of things. He's never going to be as good as he was on the West Wing. It's Martin Sheen's finest hour. It's Rob Lowe's finest hour.
Janny.
Allison Janney fucking owns that show. And I would say that while we're talking about best episodes of 25 years, it's a two-parter. So I'm gonna argue that maybe it doesn't belong on the total, but the 20 Hours in America, the two-part season opener of season 4, where Sorkin goes, I don't like how our president responded to our nation after 9/11, and goes, I wanted a not just a message of retribution, but a message of hope, a message of America rising back up as one. So he writes an episode where there is a terrorist attack in the United States, the fictional United States of the West Wing, and shows us how Jed Bartlett responds to that. Is, I think, definitely in contention for top episode. As is the season 2 finale. Season 1 finale. No, 2. Sorry, 2. 2 Cathedrals, in which the president's secretary, Mrs. Landingham, dies in a car crash, and that episode is, ooh, it's so well written. It's so tight. It's a fucking play in 3 acts, and you cannot get off the rails once you start watching.
The first two-parter you mentioned, I will at least speak up for that. I was literally taught those episodes in a college course. So yeah,
Right? Yeah.
those are pretty well regarded.
And
Yeah.
for long-term listeners, going back to Matthew and I's Halloween franchise go through, it guest stars Daniel Harris.
Yes. Yep.
It's true. There we
I gotta
go.
keep it real on my side of things.
Bringing
That's
it all
right.
back around
Appreciate you, Patrick.
for
Go
the
back.
OG listeners. All
And if
right.
you're not an OG listener, go back, listen to old content. It's still good, man. It's
It's still
evergreen.
content.
It's still content.
The content will content.
Late
Please
fees
content
waived.
it.
Late fees waived, everybody.
Ooh.
Go check it out.
Number five, critically adored, but less universally watched. One of the boldest experiments in modern television, looking at fame, money, and identity through surreal detours. From Donald Glover on FX, it's Atlanta. And that is myself, Noah, and Gavin
Hell yeah.
got that to where it is. It's there's nothing like it.
Literally nothing else like it.
And it's fantastic.
I've heard
Uh,
nothing but good stuff. I just have not gotten around to it.
and that third season, they just get to a point where they're ready to play with all the elements that they have available to them, and they're willing to push some boundaries, and they give us some wonderful things.
That is, I mean, yeah, the third season in particular, I think, has only aged like a fine wine in as much as the decision to, you know, basically do a zipper of a season in terms of alternating episodes. I think that's a season as a whole you could go back to and look at like how the pace of it and the order of those episodes relates to itself in a very interesting way. Like it's operating on a whole other level beyond being like, one of the funniest shows of the last 25 years. But like you said, there's nothing like it. Donald Glover's an incredible creative. It gave us Brian Tyree Henry. I mean,
Highlights
and gave us
Lakeith.
Lakeith. I mean, yeah, Gav, go ahead.
I just know that if I see fat ass Judge Judy, I'm still in the tank. And that's all I'm
I
gonna say.
Okay, also in the running. Okay, it
It's individual
it's
episodes. The
we
air
almost
fryer
did.
episode
We all
is to this day one of the just
we
I can't. It's
almost did.
unforgettable.
We so I'm like I'm sitting here going like I should pick an individual episode, but I'm like Gavin and I almost did an episode ranking of the series when it was all done
Yeah.
because there are so many iconic individual episodes that you want to be like that's the one, but it's like it's impossible to pick, you know? Uh just a fantastic show from top to bottom. Loved every second of it. So glad we got 4 seasons of it.
Yeah. I would, and I don't. I mean, at that point, I don't think you could give me any more. I was
Yeah,
just
I didn't.
as much as
It
I
was one of
wanted
those
more. I'm
things.
like,
I
I
didn't
don't.
want
You
any
can't.
more than it gave me, and it's like, yeah, another incredibly rewatchable series, which I'm kind of itching to go back to because it's been a minute.
I'll put it to you like this. Becky, like, she had never seen anything. I was like, just watch the first 2 episodes and tell me if you think you might like it. And after the first one, she was like, "Oh, we can watch them all. How many are there?" I'm like, "There's 3 seasons right now. There'll be a fourth one." So like, yeah, she was down after the first like 20 minutes of the first episode, and that's never happened for a show that I'm like, "You should watch this." Usually, she's like, she'd seen all of Game of Thrones before I caught up. Like, she was already on top of stuff. But this was the one I brought to her. Like, you should try this out. And immediately within like the first 30 minutes or 20 minutes, she's like, we can watch all these. It's fine. I think it's kind of funny. And then just kept going and going and going. And there were little bits that like I had, you had to clue her in on like, well, this is why this is that.
What do you do?
And, you know, but other than that, it was pretty good. It's definitely one of those you just have to sit down and watch it and go with it. And if you think you're like, oh, what the hell is this? Just give it a little bit of time and you will everything any digressions, any like anything you're like, what is this? I don't know if I want to get into this. It will like those will all fade away and you'll just see like how beautiful it is. Just give it a chance. It's one of the best. It was my number 4, I think. Or no, 3 or 5. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right high
you
for me as
had
well.
it at your number 3 spot.
3, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But our number 4 spot is what we're getting into, often cited as the gold standard of prestige television. Meticulous character study and cultural critiques is why it deserves this spot here, some would say. Advertising sells lies, but the truth will leak out. It's Mad Men. And that was myself, Noah, Tim ranking Mad Men highly, getting it
That's
to
it.
where it is. A show that I studied in college, which is why I think I revere it the way I do. Um, and I didn't even finish it. I think I didn't finish the last two seasons.
Hey,
And it was still
hey,
fantastic.
Alex, you should you should do that
Great.
at some point.
I'll add it to the list.
You should do that.
Yeah. But yeah, Mad Men. Noah, Tim, why'd you put it here? Why'd you rank it highly?
Um, I mean, I changed my college major over this show, basically. That's why I majored in advertising. I went in for journalism. Still don't really know why. Uh, and the show was like 2 seasons deep, and I was obsessed with it. And I was like, I don't know. That sounds like a good other major.
I can smoke and drink
Um,
whiskey on the job?
yeah, is that how that still works in the modern era? Pretty sure I can get one of those office jobs, right?
Right.
Uh,
Hey, if you come over to tattooing,
but yeah, it was a small cultural phenomenon, but like hit to such a degree that in terms of placement, I was curious how things were going to shake out. It's, it's a show that can't exist if not for the lineage of some things that came before it. But for my money, if I was making a list of best versus favorites, uh, I think this is I think this is the best show of the last 25 years because I think it's one of those things that's kind of about everything. Uh, and when I have gone back to it, which I have done one complete rewatch last year, I went through everything binge style. Hadn't done that since the show had ended. And the appreciation I had for it now versus when I was watching it, which was already incredibly high. I mean, it was my favorite show when it was on television. Uh, I just found it a much richer experience now with a little bit more maturity on my end too, and just like having seen more things in general. But the level of depth to like individual episodes, I think, is kind of unparalleled in dramatic television. It feels like a very, very rich, textured novel at all times. Uh, yeah. I
Well,
was
no.
gonna ask for Tim's thoughts, but I think okay, he's gonna have to peace out for a second. But I know Tim loves the show, and yeah, I will just encourage anybody if you've been itching for a rewatch, it is on HBO newly in 4K. I know there was I don't know if anybody saw this, but there
The
was a little bit of
weird
an
4K
issue.
shit.
Yes, with particularly episode 7 of season 1, which is one of my favorite episodes. Kind of the episode that if you're yeah, I don't know. I feel like to me, if people are struggling with the first season, it's the one where you're kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of just an absolute banger. But it's the one where Don gets Roger sick as revenge for making a pass at Betty, and he takes him out and he fucks with his ulcer and then makes him walk up the stairs and everything, but does it in a way that doesn't seem like I set this all up, but he set it all up, and he sets him up to embarrass himself essentially, and he throws up in the lobby. Well, apparently in the 4K upload, you could see the literal, like, the guy on set, the vomit guy, like with the machine off camera that, what should be cropped out. But apparently, because of this, like, 4K upscaling or whatever did it, like, whatever they were adjusting for, they didn't catch it. They uploaded it I don't know if they have since corrected it, but it is one of the most bizarre looking things ever. And I can't imagine that there weren't other blips like that throughout the rest of the season. I hope they have since corrected it, but yeah, maybe just go to your physical media or go watch it on AMC Plus or somewhere else. But Mad Men's incredible.
Moving on to number three, a show that is frequently cited as the number one of all time, but not on our list, not at the ARK of E. But if you like therapy and you like mobsters, then you probably will have thoughts on The Sopranos on HBO in the number three spot. Elevated here by Noah, Evan, Tim again. Um, but The Sopranos. Noah, your 2 cents. People, we've this show has been talked to death, I think, in life. But what do you have to add to what hasn't ever been said about The Sopranos right now?
Absolutely nothing other than the fact that uh, this was the thing I was late to the party on. I watched this during COVID for the first time. This was my biggest TV blind spot for like the longest time. Back before I had access to HBO, and I used to just blind buy seasons from Best Buy when they would be on sale. That's how I watched The Wire. That's how I watched Oz. That's how I watched, I'm sorry, I don't want to say any other shows that may or may not have been mentioned. Anyways, uh, yeah, it just so I did buy the first two seasons at one point, and it was one of those where it's like, this is great. I know I need to watch this, but I never had the follow through. I didn't buy the rest of the seasons, didn't have access to HBO. Anyways, I find myself in the midst of COVID, and I'm like, now is the time. I have nothing but time. It's time for Sopranos. Let's do it. And yeah, I have nothing new to offer other than holy shit, it completely changed the face of essentially prestige television. Like, it was not the first. I always do like to point out, you know, Oz, Oz broke every taboo that like they forget about on television. Everything you're not supposed to, you're not allowed to do now. They already did it. Oz did it. They did all of them. They literally did all of them. So shout out to Oz. But Sopranos is the game changer because it's the crossover. It's like HBO is being taken seriously. Um, and it revolutionizes like a whole subgenre essentially by therapizing it. And that whole conceit is incredible. And somebody else say something about The Sopranos. I feel so dumb trying to be
I
like,
I
I've
still haven't
never
seen it.
seen it,
Yeah,
but
I
That's
still
what I
haven't
was
watched
about to
it.
well,
say. You want to
I will
talk
say
blind spots? Still haven't
the
watched it.
idea the idea of setting it through the therapy humanizes and also makes you like not just glorify them as like badasses. It makes you realize how like wrecked they are on the inside.
it
Like it's pretty
it
revolutionary.
it is like the prototype for the complicate or the bad
The
guy,
anti-hero.
the anti-hero protagonist that we were essentially, you could argue, plagued with in the wake of Sopranos for years, and are still kind of living in the wake of the, can can
The
a
anti-hero
can
that
a
you want to
can a
win.
good man do a bad thing? And
Or can a bad man be the protagonist that you want to win? Can someone who you objectively know is bad, can you still cheer for him? And can that sustain you through multiple seasons?
I think that's probably like the biggest thing. What what Barham said, and obviously came before that, is like you got this anti-hero that has his family issues, and everybody can kind of relate to those issues, even though obviously Tony Soprano's not doing like the greatest things to humankind. You're exploring his psychology, his societal themes through his therapy sessions, and he has these like in and out dream sequences where you're like, okay, this is kind of cool to like watch the dream sequence back versus reality, and you get it in this like serial drama force fed down your throat. It's just hard not to like.
Well, I think you hit on the head there too that he's more relatable to a lot of people because of that than a lot of your heroes on previous television shows.
Why am I rooting for this dude? I am,
Yeah,
but I also like
that's because
if
you see
something
his
happened
day-to-day
to him, I'd be
struggle.
like, okay, well, I get that.
You see his day-to-day struggle and you see what he's dealing with and you can see parts of what you're dealing with in that.
Yeah, yeah.
That said, I've never seen it, but
It's,
I
I mean,
was gonna say,
it's
just to
dark
be
and
clear,
it's
I've seen
brutal.
it
clips.
makes it
I've seen
clear
little pieces.
over and over again
Oh,
that he is not a
he's
good
he's
person
he's not a good person. No, no, no. I mean,
whatsoever.
I've seen the series, and just the way that it ends. We'll just say that I think obviously there may be some um, potential open-endedness there, but nonetheless, I think that it ends perfectly. I think there was a lot of people that didn't love the way that it ended, but I'm like, how else did you want this to end? Like I don't know. I liked it personally.
I I
A
I
hail of
love
gunfire.
I love the finale. Yes, often debated.
I thought it was great.
along with some of, as you mentioned, like some of the more dreamy aspects of it, and David Chase like exploring that stuff where he was, has said publicly he was very frustrated by the fact that everybody seemed to just, basically continue to miss the point, something that might come up here in a minute. So I don't know why I'm dancing around it, but we can move on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
you
because I'm
heard it
pretty
here
sure I know what our.
first at the ARK of E, breaking it for everybody in the world. Go watch The Sopranos.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could
what
we could
what a shocker.
to
If you're gonna
really
watch
highlight this
something,
this
no,
this
no,
hidden
watch
gem.
The Prowler.
Also, at this point, I'm just gonna
No,
say I know what our
no,
top two
no, no,
are,
no. Matthew, you're
but
not
what
hip to this
order?
yet. The new refrain is you need to go watch The Master. You need to watch The
Ah,
Master. Patrick needs to watch The Master. Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master. Okay.
Who?
you want
Except
Patrick to watch a PTA movie? Oh, good luck with that.
Oh, you missed yeah, go listen to the most recent banter episode where he finally admitted to me that he doesn't like PTA at all. Uh yeah.
Number two, universally acclaimed, massively popular, one of the greatest characters that some would say have graced the television screen. It's the one who knocks. It's Breaking Bad on AMC as our number two pick for the ARK of E.
Still
I
never
knew
seen.
it was gonna be one or two, but yeah, it was just down
You
between this and obviously the number
you were
one.
saying greatest character, and I thought you were obviously building towards saying, of course, Mr. Michael Ehrmantraut, the best character of the last 25
I
years.
was talking
Not
about
Saul
Sky. I
Goodman.
was talking
Not
about
Saul
Skylar
Goodman,
White,
really.
but
Oh,
Hey,
okay. Excuse me.
Skylar was
Yes.
yeah,
underappreciated. I hated
Skylar,
Skylar the whole time, but she was underappreciated by
we
me.
Yes, and we've had this conversation many times, but I mean, the show does not function without her, and Anna Gunn's performance is pretty phenomenal. So
pretty dub.
everybody, all the
Also,
Skylar haters can shut the hell up.
her second time on the
Her
list.
second time on the list, that is in fact true.
There
Yes.
you go. This was myself, Noah, Gavin, Evan, Tim, all having Breaking Bad
Am
on
I the
the
only
list.
person that hasn't seen it?
No.
Hey,
Pat,
Probably.
I'm curious what Patrick's resistance is, and also I'm curious if Matthew has seen it.
I have not.
There you go.
My resistance, mm, I'm very much like my brother. And when people tell me I need to watch something and they tell me in mass, I will watch the thing that is furthest from it. I will watch like, oh, okay. I'll watch
Well,
Powderpuff Girls instead. Thank you.
I mean,
maybe
that's
let
not a
me tell
bad
you how
decision. I'm not gonna
let me
hate
tell
on
you
it.
how I got into this, and maybe this
Oh,
will give you an
Jojo.
entrance. So Noah came over to my apartment. He was like, hold on. We were playing video games. He was just like, hold on. It was like FIFA '08 or something. And Noah said, hold on. The last 10 minutes of this show that I just watched earlier is re-airing, and I want to see it again. And I saw the last 10 minutes of an episode of season 3 with no context whatsoever. And the only thought I had afterwards was, I need all of this now. I need the rest of this. I need to know every single thing that led to this point. It was the most entrancing thing. Like, I was pulled in immediately. Just I don't think it was 30 seconds before I was devoted to it.
Great show.
Incredible.
It's a great show. All right, we'll jump to our honorable mentions before we recap and then get to our number one. Honorable mentions, as a reminder, are shows that showed up on multiple lists but just were too low to get the points needed to make the top 25. So from the least amount of points to the most amount of points, here are our honorable mentions. The Mandalorian got a little bit of love. Tartakovsky's Primal also got a little bit of love. Star Wars Rebels, which solid show. Lindelof's Watchmen on HBO from 2019 got a couple votes.
Crazy
Degrassi, The
good.
Next Generation, got a couple votes. Two
80 melodrama. Whoop.
from Matthew and Patrick. Keeping it alive. Chernobyl got some votes. The Dead Zone,
Oh my God, yeah.
Fleabag, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Black Mirror, Station 11, Firefly, The Flash on CW, How I Met Your Mother, and Cobra Kai all picked up multiple votes.
Nice.
Wonderful. I will say the only thing that would have kept Chernobyl out of my top five is that it's favorites and not best because it is
Yes.
so hard to put yourself through, but
Not
you
not
have to.
not a rewatcher. Not something I ever want to revisit, but what an
Still
experience.
haven't,
Yeah.
but I remember it better than most things I've watched five times.
Those are some great honorable mentions. So. Oh yeah.
And I know that in the chat on his way out, Tim Niles highlighted a show that was on my list, which was Real Bros: The Simi Valley. Uh, I'll give that an honorable
Oh
mention.
yes, that's a personal fave of ours.
Blue
If I
Mountain
Great
State.
show.
can, if I
Jersey
can throw out
Shore.
one like this, I don't know if it would have made my 25 or not, but it did start in 24. Twisted Metal on Peacock, NBC. Way more fun than it has any right to be.
There you go. We'll recap the list and then get to our number one. 25 was Mindhunter, 24 Parks and Rec, 23 Superman and Lois, 22 Gilmore Girls, 21 Band of Brothers, appropriately ranked based off of the votes.
Ooh, tough take.
20 Deadwood, 19 Andor, 18 Ted Lasso, 17 Stranger Things, 16 Girls, 15 Twin Peaks The Return, 14 was Eastbound and Down, 13 Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica, 12 The Wire, 11 Smallville, 10 6 Feet Under, 9 was Game of Thrones, 8 Succession, 7 True Detective, 6 The West Wing, 5 Atlanta, 4 Mad Men, 3 The Sopranos, 2 Breaking Bad, and our number one, not universally watched, but those who love it consider it transcendent. The most emotionally honest show of the century, some would say, about loss, faith, and choosing meaning. What if the mystery didn't matter as much as the grief? Is the question that gets asked. On a show that was put on pretty much everyone's list, except
Except
for a
for
few
yours.
holdouts. It's The
Except for yours.
Leftovers. The Leftovers is the number one show of
Wait,
the ARK of E of
Alex,
the last 25 years.
this wasn't on your list?
I gave it a 7 when I watched it out of 10. Which maybe it's time for a rewatch.
With
I
your
was
with
I
your
was young.
with your
I
poor
love
choice in
that
Band of
concept,
Brothers, I'm not surprised.
but it there are not many things where I'd be like, I don't understand parts of it, but I love it and I appreciate it and I get something different out of it every single time.
Really?
And it rides that Chernobyl thing too, where it is devastating, but like Chernobyl is just hard to watch. Like there are things in that I have a hard time looking at. And the same is true for the leftovers, but there's something that compels me to look at it and pulls me towards it, which feels like again a part of the show. There's like a meta thing to that.
See,
It
I would agree that it's dark with you, Barum. It's definitely dark when you peel it back and make sure even on the surface. But I don't find it hard to watch. I actually find it consuming. It is an emotional
well, that's
ride.
what I'm saying. Is that that's what
It's
I'm saying. Like it's trying, I guess, to watch, but
it's
I still want to.
Noah and I were talking about this recently, comparing it to another show that we both are pretty high on that just came out this year. And I was just like, hey, man, the only reason I can't give this new show a 10 is because the amount of emotion that The Leftovers was able to pull on me. And that's not to say the new show isn't great or doesn't pull emotion, but The Leftovers was able to tug on a lot of feel good, a lot of dark, a lot of sad, a lot of wonder, a lot of curiousness. Um, where is he going to take you? What's he trying to say? Uh, man, I don't think I've been that consumed by a show in a long time. I don't. Where, Alex, I know you got my fake list there for a
Yeah.
second. What I have it at like two, one, two, two.
I
That's
mean, yeah, I'd have to pull it up. Hold on.
You do have it at number 2.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's
and the only reason I have my number one is because I've watched that series more than any other series in my life. Uh, but yeah, man, I think The Leftovers is incredibly touching, incredibly curious, innovative novel, and the list goes on.
Number
it
5 on
feels
my
it has a
list.
universal quality.
But yeah, it's number 5 on my list, and I don't ever want to watch it again.
Really
because
interesting.
I'm scared
Yeah.
it will not hold up
Yeah.
for the
Well,
first
that
time
that may be
viewing.
true.
Patrick, I will just let you know,
It
it
does.
totally fucking does, dude. I've
100%.
rewatched it 3 times now. It totally fucking does.
Because
Same. Yeah.
I almost checked out after season one, and
I
Understandable.
mean,
I got
Understandable.
but
hooked on
like The
season two.
Wire, but like The Wire, where it changes and there's an initial, like, I don't know if I recognize this, you still find that it's not that it's a different theme, it's just building towards a larger theme and expanding on it. Because where do you go after 9/11? That's the whole allegory of the first season. So like where do you go from there? And it's exploring that, you know, along with everybody.
And
Like
then
none of us got to ignore that.
one of the rare cases where it's like the first season is the book,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna do more of this. And in taking the story further, you know, the themes are taken further, and you get to like take the show to different places. And yeah, I think that's to me again why the rewatch is so satisfying, is because yeah, that first season is tough, but it establishes,
Well, you
what
could
a
see
world,
Yeah.
you could
like
see a lot of that in the
mhm,
country, in the way things have happened. Like
yeah,
they might be
it's
exaggerated in some ways, but they're still there.
and I was gonna say definitely like rewatching it post COVID, like it hit in a different way, and then even just rewatching it earlier this year, it hit differently. And I was watching it because I got that was earlier this year, right, Brendan?
Yeah, dude, that was just probably
Yeah, where I got
5 months ago.
I had been talking it up to you. You started watching it. I burned through it, and then Gav, have you watched it, rewatched it recently too?
Yeah, right before I did The Wire.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
yeah, it's
I
one that I
I
continue to go back to because those emotional highs and lows, it's like they to me hit every time I've watched it.
one.
Also, it has the ultimate cheat code, which is the best score of the last
No, dang,
25
you stole it,
years.
dude.
Oh,
Sorry,
Max
it
sorry, I
so
had to jump
does.
in there. I had to jump in
Max
there.
Richter, dude, the score that Max Richter puts out is through the roof. I mean, I listen to it now when I'm driving down the highway, which probably sounds pretty depressing, but I love it.
No,
It's
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 incredible. That's one of my favorite playlists to pull from.
Dude,
yeah.
I absolutely love it. I think the score is great. I think I
And
follow Matthew
the
and
music cues too. Sorry,
oh,
sorry.
it's
I didn't mean
great.
to
No,
cut
I
you
was
off.
gonna say I follow Matthew and Patrick in the sense where like, and no, you know this when somebody is high on something, when a group of people are high on something, I'm like, nah, man, y'all are you for whatever reason you're just following the bandwagon. I'm good. I'm good. I'll pass. I put leftovers off for the longest time, especially because one of our co people that are on the show often was
Is
so high on it,
we should mention
so
we
high on it.
fully expected Evan to be here. He has not mentioned anything in the group chat. We hope he's doing well. I'm
I've been
sure
thinking
he
about
is.
your brother.
I'm sure he is more than okay with leftovers being number one. I would
Yeah.
imagine it was very high on his
Evan
list.
Evan was so high on leftovers for so long. There was a part of me that's like, that is an impossible feat to live up to. I am not watching the show. I am good. And Noah was like, brother, just. I'm not saying you're gonna love it. I just think that maybe you should try it. Noah went a little softer with it, and I got to episode one, and I think I was by final episode, season three, within what, like a week.
Oh yeah, you were burning
I,
through it.
I burned through it, man. Yeah, it was hard to pull from. It was great.
Yeah.
Also, I would say up there with like The Wire and Breaking Bad for me in terms of like one of the only ones that I've seen on the list that doesn't like there's no rises and dips in the season's
No,
quality.
no, it's just a
Like
up, up,
if
up.
the first
I
season
would
is
say,
perfect,
yeah.
but you don't have Regina King in the first season. Like there's no way I could rank the seasons.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, and we haven't even really mentioned much of the cast, but I will say, like, if we were doing an overall like just performances from this stretch, Carrie Coon is definitely got to be on my personal list.
absolutely,
Carrie
Christopher
Coon
Eccleston
as Nora
is
Durst. I'm saying if I can only pick one performance from the show,
yeah,
but it has to be Carrie Coon. But yes, but Eccleston's
absolutely.
amazing. Obviously, Justin Theroux. Um,
Regina King absolutely crushes it. Comes in the second season, and
Scott
you think
Glenn
how could
as
you live
his
without her?
dad. I mean, come
Uh,
on.
as little as he's even in like huge chunks of it, like he still leaves a mark.
Yeah. But yeah, just an incredible
And
show.
Margaret Qualley, like first thing I ever saw her in, like
Yeah.
And the impeccable Ann Dowd.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
of
don't
course.
forget
I
Andel.
would say
oh
we
god,
how could we? Pat, excuse
Don't
me.
forget Patty Levin. You don't
Uh,
ever forget
I
Patty
dude,
was
Levin.
I've
gonna
been
say, as much as I'm like, dude, you can only pick Carrie Coon. I'm like, maybe it is Ann Dowd though.
it
Maybe
could
Patty
be.
is the character that transcends the whole show as the most memorable thing.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I've gotten
Dude,
so
her
excited every time I see her in an old episode of any random thing. I'm just like, oh my god, it's fucking Patty. Like I get
Yeah.
so amped up.
two of the more brutal deaths in the show. That Patty, and what she does, and then the stoning episode. Oh my gosh, dude! I think
The stoning is was it like episode 3 of season 1,
I can't remember
4?
the exact episode, but I just remember calling Noah and being
It's
like, "Dude, what did I just watch?"
it's a
Yeah.
cold open too, isn't it? Like that's a cold open.
Yeah,
You have
it's
no
like the very
context.
exactly. Yeah. It's very rough.
This is
It's not again, it's not a fun show. It's definitely a challenging show, but I think rewarding. There's another show that I don't
Yeah.
think got brought up, and there was a possibility that it might, but also involved Lindelof, and we know how that turned out, and people were frustrated, and you know, this is the show in the wake of that, and feels very aware of like, you know. I'm going to establish the stakes and I'm going to kind of stick to it. And the way it plays with your expectations and the way it walks that knife's edge of what's really happening here
Well, and the
throughout three
leftovers with
seasons and never fully shows its hand and still allows you to uh, take what you want from it is very a different kind of satisfying finale. And it also is one of my favorite final episodes and another series that has so many episodes I could name that are like, oh, dude, but this one and this one and this one that are just amazing standalones. But in
yeah.
particular, uh,
what's the
International Assassin
International
would
Assassin?
be the
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
we would
that
pull
100% my
easily.
favorite.
Yeah.
I
But I
still
also
think season one was my favorite season, which is a very different take from most people. But
no, but it's season 1's perfect. There's not a single critique I could make of that season.
I
But then you don't have some of the other things that you get later on, so it's hard to.
hey, no, 100%.
Just
I
just
guess that's why I
just
think it
let
works as a
just
unit.
just let the mystery be. Okay? Just let the mystery be.
I mean, I hope people going, whoever's out there in TV land, if there was two that you needed to go watch, The Leftovers, and I apologize to my brother on the show, but The Band of Brothers would be the other one. Okay, top two shows that have been listed in this list specifically. Now, if you took a look at my list, if we can post that somehow, insert here, you'd be doing yourself a favor. But Band of Brothers and The Leftovers.
I would like to say that in order it goes Californication for Brendan, The Leftovers, Band of Brothers, and then Jersey Shore was the fourth
Just
spot.
for context.
Just for context.
So somebody's got great taste. Their range is
Specifically season 2 Jersey Shore for
their
Brendan.
range is undeniable.
I was gonna say, thank
What, the
God
one in Miami?
Evan didn't.
No,
Thank God Evan didn't throw a
if
vote
Evan
towards
was here,
Jersey Shore
he would have
because
been
it would
near
have just
Jersey Shore too.
y'all would have fucked
Well,
around
lost all credibility.
and landed it on the list.
Yeah.
Well, I
Would've
mean,
been devastated.
honestly, if you think about it, what has contributed more to the cultural zeitgeist, The Leftovers or the Jersey Shore?
Oh,
To be fair,
well,
Think
you got
about
a
it.
good
If
point.
As
you want to
far
think,
as reality TV goes, there has not been a bigger bang than Jersey Shore. I mean, think of
Yeah.
another reality TV show than that. There
Keeping
hasn't
up
been
with the
one.
Kardashians.
But think
Well,
of
yeah,
all
the Kardashians in the last 25 years, I would say.
There,
It'd be the
Patrick,
Well,
Kardashians.
this without the other.
with their reach on the certain gender for sure, at least.
Are
But
we
But like, what has that done to television? That has, I think, hurt television so badly in the
the
last
Kardashians
25
or the
years.
Jersey Shore?
yo
Jersey Shore with
Yes.
the abundance of reality TV, it has
guys,
ruined things.
sorry, I don't mean to cut everything off. Our gracious host needs to head out, so we can
True.
wrap things up. But thank you, Alex, for
Thank you, Alex.
crunching all the numbers and making the
Always a
list.
pleasure.
Love you,
Uh,
bud.
by Tuesday next week, for our friends and listeners, your 25 favorite movies of the year, 2025 releases. If you have that list,
If you haven't seen 25 movies, that's totally fine.
that's
Just
fine.
send the movies you have seen that you would like to nominate for consideration. That doesn't mean that like, oh, I saw a bunch of trash, and I'm filling out my list. Like you
Yo,
can elect
who you
to.
talking to?
No,
Who
no,
you
no, no,
talking
no, no,
to?
no.
I'm just saying you can omit
I'm
movies you've
explaining this
seen
to
if you don't want
everybody.
to give them
I'm just
points.
saying, like, if you've only seen 25, but you're like, I didn't really care for these and you don't want them to possibly be in consideration, you could eliminate them from your list. Like your ranked
Right.
list will still carry as much weight as if you have a full 25 or not. So don't stress whether
Sure.
you've seen 25. I'm mainly saying that for the dads in the room that may have not gotten to see as much this year as they wanted to.
Fair,
That's
fair,
all I'm
fair.
saying.
Important question about what is a release of 2025? I
Uh,
say this because Universal released its entire fucking back catalog in theaters this year.
we typically
Okay.
say Oscar eligibility for the upcoming year, so that
All
means
right,
that
fair enough.
it
Yes.
needed no re-releases. It needed
'Cause I'm
a
sorry, number
release
one is
button.
Jaws.
Yeah,
The
Is there
Greatest movie
anything
of the
that
yeah.
year.
like
Jaws 50 doesn't unfortunately does not count.
yeah.
what if there's some that like released in theaters like December 28th and then wide release, like in limited release, and then are we talking wide release date or
No, we're talking about Oscar eligibility. So if it
I
was
don't know what that means.
if it was
That means it was snuck in,
released,
like you're saying, Baron. It was snuck in
yeah, if it was
December, so
snuck
it could
in
count for
this,
this year.
yeah.
That's it.
So
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice is
Yeah,
eligible, but it's not going to release in America until January 8th. That is still
Okay.
technically a 2025 release.
another example though that would apply because you may see some movies. For instance, I have like at least two or three on my list that will be listed as 2024 movies, but they did not have a proper stateside release of any kind. Like they maybe played a festival or something. But if it was not widely available for everybody to see until this year, it is still eligible. That's
Okay,
the
so that's
only
what
thing
I
that,
was asking, yeah. Is if something released early in 2024, but widely in five?
If you've got questions, let me know. I can help navigate that
yes.
conversation. Noah can as well. There are certain things that were eligible technically last year. I will use the example of Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul. That was an animated nomination last year at the Oscars, even though it didn't catch a wide release until Netflix dropped
You,
it in
yeah,
January.
you'll often find this with like UK critics will release their 10 best of list, and it'll be a movie that was on a bunch of lists from American critics the previous year because of just the way that like schedules usually
Okay.
happen. And so if UK critics are like, oh, well, it's when it was widely available to us, then I say it's the same thing until it plays wide in until it hits like New York and LA, something beyond a festival where it's like people can see it or they can watch it on VOD
Yeah.
like then it counts for this year. So yeah, I have like three or four that are listed as 2024, but that's just because they played somewhere. Yeah, that's totally fine.
All
But
right.
yeah, you can ask us accordingly.
Well, I'm gonna get that listed to you guys.
If I see
I
Jaws
swear it on
50,
my.
I'll omit it from the list.
Okay.
But
Is
Matthew,
that did that actually
in
happen?
that
But
spirit,
it's my number one, god damn it.
well, I was gonna say in that
As it
spirit,
should be.
Censorship.
we will definitely try and shout out our favorite like theatrical experiences regard independent of just like that
Yes,
that
of
we
course.
had this year, and we can talk about retro releases that we saw because I caught quite a few as well. Uh, that would be fun. Okay, thank you, Mayfield. And I guess if anybody has any final thoughts or like a burning, oh my gosh, this one I wanted to at least make sure it got mentioned, that was maybe on your list.
Watch Holliston. Find it. It's amazing. It's everything that the Big Bang Theory should have been,
But for horror movies,
but
Is
for horror
that
fans.
is that Adam Green
Adam Green.
Adam
Adam
Green
Green
and
of
Joe
Hatchet
Lynch.
fames?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Uh yes, I've heard great things.
And what was
My
the name of that cult that Jared Leto started? We're doing the cult thing, right? You're talking about that?
Oh God,
On the
please make
island?
my
I'm
dreams
not
come
sure
true.
what his is called yet.
Is
I
I
it?
don't think
am
it has a
It's
personally
name.
it's
a
the one
little
where they put
offended
him.
that nobody else wanted to include 2000's Greg the Bunny.
I wanted to. It got cut. It got
The
cut.
best Seth Green vehicle prior to Robot Chicken.
Well, in the Robot Chicken vein, I did have Tim and Eric's
Oh,
Awesome Show Great Job at number 12 on my personal list, as a pretty groundbreaking and
oh,
revolutionary comedy series.
oh,
Um,
on that note, Moral Oral too. You got to throw Moral Oral in there if we're getting to that era of.
Great show. Yeah. But no, my biggest one that I've shouted out before, and I could have bumped it up way further to try and get it a slot. I don't know that it was ever going to be on anybody else's, but I will always continue to shout to the heavens that Pen 15 on Hulu is one of the best fucking shows ever. Um,
Dude, Becky
I
watched all this just because you said that, and I saw 2 episodes and I was like, I don't get it. It looks funny, but I have to start again. But she like instantly, just like boom, boom, boom,
it's
watched it
it's
all.
it's
She thought it was great.
it's the best. It is a generational thing, uh, Patrick, that I don't know if you'll fully get on board with because of the era that it is, but it's like nostalgia for me kind of thing. But the genius is it is these 30-year-old women playing their middle school selves, and all of the actors around them are age appropriate, but they are just that's the show. It's it's mind blowing. It's brilliant. It's the most heart. It's the closest thing to another show that I was like debating. I think I did have on my list, but it's a weird thing because it was only one season, and I was literally down to like when did the episodes air? But I put Freaks and Geeks on my list,
Yeah.
and
That was
See,
close.
that one
Yeah.
I didn't
Pen,
because of the 99 overlap. I
exactly.
was like,
I because of
But
the
yeah,
split, I was like, I don't know. And there was a weird thing with like even the release schedule, and I know like they swapped episodes and released them out of order, and like it
yeah.
was a whole thing. They kept moving the night. I ultimately did. I put it on there because I'm like, it's a favorite. I'm gonna count it. Whatever. I want to count it.
On a
So
podcast. God damn it, I'll count it.
yeah. But I was gonna say, Pen 15 is like to me the closest thing we've gotten to a Freaks and Geeks post Freaks and Geeks. It's for a different era, but the spirit of it is very much that sensibility. Um, yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it. That's available on Hulu. Pen 15. It,
My
it
other
means
shout
it
out.
means penis
That's
if you
yeah, I
write it
figured
out. I
that.
just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that everybody
Yeah,
had the
We
I know
all
how to
went
spell
to
out
middle
boobies on a
school.
calculator. Uh,
Yeah, but did you spell boobless?
that too, man.
same. I sure
I was in the
did.
third grade one time.
Because Dolly Parton did it. I don't know the rest.
No,
I don't remember it anymore.
my other shout
God
out
bless the Queen.
is gonna make it seem like if you remember earlier in this show, I have this thing about 1983. I love 1983. Halt and Catch Fire.
Dude, I was this close. Because I don't think I saw the last season. I feel like I
Mm,
did, but I don't think I got all the way through it.
okay.
They were because they were getting into like the game thing, like over the phone and all that. I remember that, and then that is probably the first time I remember Toby Huss being in anything, and I was just
Mm,
like, I love that dude,
yes,
you
he's
know.
awesome.
So yeah, I got to go back and finish that. I just need to rewatch the whole thing again because I loved the first season when it came out. I was watching that week to week on
Yeah.
AMC.
So
That's a
I've got
huge
a
blind
I got a
spot for me.
question.
I should watch that. Yeah.
What is, and this is for everybody or anybody, what's the favorite thing that you have on your 25 that didn't make an honorable mention, didn't make it on the list, no one talked about? What's that one show that you're like, man, that's on my list, but nobody else's, no talking about it whatsoever.
And I'd say Picard. I mentioned it like in reference to something else, but it never got mentioned on its own. I think Picard was a wonderful evolution from nostalgic 80s, 90s Star Trek into more of the vein of the modern movies where it got gritty and real and there were like hardcore consequences. I think everybody
Absolutely.
should watch it. And Patrick Stewart is killing it in his 80s.
Yes, indeed.
I would shout out Sons of Anarchy just because it's him on a
Ah,
motorcycles.
God, I hate you.
That
Uh,
was one that
I hate you. I hate you so
Mayfield
bad.
literally said he was surprised was not on more people's lists, Gav.
it's only
That he
it's
thought
and
was
it,
going to rate really high for people for some reason.
well, like see, I put that on there, but I also put ER on my list because a bunch of that is in more seasons are in the 2000s than they are in the 90s, and that didn't get mentioned either, which I understand because I still
Wow,
stand
that
by the
can't be
like,
true.
yeah,
It
it is,
is,
man. Like
but it's
seriously,
like, but again,
Fuck.
Gav, like the
But
seasons we really love.
no, no, everything you love. Lucy gets stabbed in 2000 from every arc, Carter's arc, all that stuff.
No, but I
We
love all
started.
that.
It's
I
at
love all that early stuff too. I'm just saying. I'm
right.
like,
Yeah, but I'm saying like the stuff that I caught the show with and where I thought like this is perfect. I love this arc, you know, all that. That's all 2000 and moving forward. Yes, the stuff with Green and all that we talked about, it's like pivotal to the 90s. It changes TV in the 90s. I get it, but
yeah,
like the majority of the episodes
well, yeah, in the
are in the
period we were
2000s. So
watching it like with mom,
yeah,
like yeah,
it's
we're all 2000s episodes.
yeah.
right. Like as a
Brendan
'90s
had it on
kid
his
who's ahead
list.
of you
Yeah.
guys, like that doesn't clock to me because like ER is so a product of 1994 through 1999 in
Right.
my brain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's ER to me.
that's why
Same with
like
Law
when
and
I
Order for
gave
me.
the yeah, that's why I gave the example of Law and Order and The Simpsons. I was like, you could art I was like, you could say The Simpsons because more seasons of The Simpsons have existed in the last
Right.
25 years than the original run
Yeah, but
prior
they
to
all
that.
suck.
That was my
Yeah.
point though. I was like, but then you have to be the asshole who's gonna argue that the last
Oh, I'm
25 years of The Simpsons have been better than the first how
I am
I can make that argument for Law and Order though, right?
11,
Like I can argue
12
that the
years.
2000s seasons of Law and Order, the Jesse L. Martin
I can see that.
seasons,
Yeah.
I can make that case. And I almost did. There's a version of this list that had Mothership Law and Order. There's a version of this list that had SVU,
SV is
Criminal
my number
Intent.
25.
Because Law and Order, fuck everything. Law and Order is like the most rock steady television show
Yeah.
other than The Simpsons. Uh, I think
Well,
the thing
no,
that on my list that I'm like, oh, why did nobody else do The Good Place?
absolutely. That one slipped my mind, but that is one of my absolute favorites. I have only watched that in the last 5 years, and I've probably watched it at least five, six times.
Such a good series. Best
I can
Ted
drop into
Danson work
any
ever.
I could drop into any point in that series at any time, and I will watch it the rest of the way through, and then I'll go back and watch what I missed before it. It's
Yep.
incredible, and I've been trying to get Noah to watch it.
Oh,
Um,
that's a blind spot for you, huh, Noah? You
Yeah, that
should
one
definitely watch The Good
that
Place.
one.
Short seasons.
So I was gonna say, to your point earlier though, Matthew, The Good Place is the show that like people have been yelling at me.
Yeah, you to
You would
watch.
love it. You
Yeah.
gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. You would love it. It's the best thing ever. You
Fair.
gotta watch it.
Noah,
You would love it
Noah,
for
I'm with you.
years.
I got a
Uh,
proposal, Noah.
so
Come up
that's
here,
why that's the one I'm resistant to, I
come up here
guess.
for a weekend, Noah, and we will watch Twin Peaks and we will watch The Good Place. Or I'll
That's the
come down there for a
trade-off. That's an
weekend.
interesting trade-off. I guess I
I mean,
could
I've
do
been
that.
wanting to watch Twin Peaks, but I just haven't done it. But I feel like that would make you happy.
Well, you should definitely do it. Um, I
South
will.
Park didn't make it on.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
it was on my list, but it was number 13 on my list.
gotcha.
But I guess,
It probably would have ended around there for me, ish, middle.
yeah, I don't know if Tim had it on and maybe had it low or just however his list was written, or if he thought of it. I know some people, again, even though it's very clearly like a, last 25 years sort of thing. Uh,
It never hit its stride until the 2000s, though. Like that's the
yeah,
big,
yeah,
like
yeah.
very clearly, I think, inarguably
So
became
yeah,
what it was in the 2000s.
I had that at my 13. I'm sure if you had had your list, it definitely would have made it onto the overall. I'm imagining.
I'm
Uh,
surprised Evan didn't have it on there, like as well, in addition to Tim. Like,
Yeah, no, I thought there would be enough to carry it across regardless, but I guess not. Uh, I will just shout out two like completely self-contained single seasons that you can go and digest. None of these got any kind of mention. I didn't expect them to. One is from Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie. It's called The Curse. It was a Showtime show with Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone. and there's literally nothing quite like it. I mean, the only thing even in the remote ballpark is kind of like Twin Peaks: The Return, but even that's not like a great parallel. But very unique show. Uh, Highly recommend. Not everybody's cup of tea. And then over on HBO, I May Destroy You from Michaela Cole. One of the best like single season out of the gate discovery. Like I didn't know who she was. I guess I had seen her in like one or two things, but like I don't know, she hadn't like popped necessarily for me. Um, but a very like bracing and intense show that's about a lot of different stuff. I don't, it's almost don't want to give anything away, but it was very of the moment show when it came out. And I feel like if you were there for it, you were like, holy shit, this is one of the best things HBO has ever produced. And if you missed it, it was hard to, when people tell you too much about the show, if I were to tell you what it's about, you would not want to watch it. Like, because of some
Gotcha.
of like the things that it explores because it's not a fun watch, but it takes some
Okay.
of the heaviest material you could possibly deal with um and confronts it in such a like bold and interesting way. I've never seen anything quite like it. I don't really want to say too much more about it, but anyways, I May Destroy You on HBO. That is the
Yeah.
one. If I could scream from the high heavens to people to like, hey, go watch this thing if you missed it. But it is a lot. I will give a big, giant, enormous trigger warning that like it goes a lot of places. But also
Okay.
incredibly funny in parts. And then if you need a breather after that, go watch Michaela Cole's I believe it was a BBC or a Channel 4 series called Chewing Gum, which is way more of an approachable, like just straightforward comedy in some ways, but also has like a bit of an edge to it as well. Uh,
So what was the one thing that didn't get mentioned? Can I ask that again? What was the one thing that didn't get mentioned?
I snuck them in because they're both single
Because it's your
single
show and you could
Well,
do what you
single
want. I get it.
on
seasons.
that
I
on
snuck
that
them in.
note, just another quick one, very different genre that has never not been mentioned, but The Daily Show and Colbert Report, which then I mean leads to John Oliver. Like you've got all that. Not something I would say I've seen like every episode of any of them, but I do feel like they were pretty pivotal last 25 years, pretty groundbreaking, kind of shaped
Yeah,
to a lot of things. But it's not not a season you follow. It's not a narrative.
exactly.
Yeah.
None of you,
But I
none
could
of you, none of you mentioned South Park at all. Not a one of you put
yeah, I
South
said
Park
that.
on your list.
Gav, we just talked
Yeah,
about South Park and like why it would have been on there if Barham had put in his like we just had this conversation literally like 5 minutes ago.
But no, wait a minute. But nobody, like between everybody, it wasn't mentioned at least at one point to where it could have made the list.
I
I mean
had
it
it
would
at
have been
number
again.
13 on my list. Barham did not submit a list. I'm shocked that Tim and or Evan did not have it
That's
on theirs.
that's what I'm saying. I figured more people would have like, and if of
I
our
would
age
have.
group, more people would have been like, hey,
I would have, and I intended to, but I've been asked not to get into the particulars of why. But I've been infirmed all week. It was it's been a rough been a rough physical health week.
hmm.
Meh. That's
I'm
my
kidding with
South
those.
Park. Meh.
Yeah. It's definitely got things that I have, I would say are mad, but it also, I think that might be a generational thing too, of like,
I
it
think
yeah,
felt
it,
like
a little
such
bit.
a core thing. Like that was again when you and I lived across from each other, Noah, there was a good period of months where all we would do is just burn through, we'd go to the Walmart, pick up a cheap season of the South Park and just burn through that,
I just
you know.
I think when you guys would have been having it shoved down your throats when it first launched, it probably felt like a bit of a flash in the pan or a novelty. And I will say, like, part of what Behrman and I love about it is the way they have maintained some of that spirit of those early episodes throughout the continuity of the show. But it very quickly, and especially in the last like shit 15 seasons or so,
It's kind of
has
closer to
become like
political satire and
it's
pop culture
it's it's an
satire.
ongoing like it is just whatever's happening in pop culture or in the world at the given stretch of time that they are doing their season. That's what the show becomes about, essentially. So
It's the heir to The Simpsons.
it has become this kind of thing where it's like you can go back to an individual season and it's like it's a time capsule. It's essentially like a news report on everything that was happening, but just it's through the lens of the world of South Park. And that's kind of the groove they fell into after several seasons, and that has what has maintained it for so long. And then like
Yeah,
over time they did also introduce like actual continuity between
yeah,
like they did actually start to like age characters or like, hey, events occurred in this and like now they have cause and effect in the following episode. That was kind
right.
of a
But that didn't even start.
big, that
That's
doesn't
like
start until like it's season like
season 10.
10. Yes, season 10,
Well,
12,
10 a
somewhere in
little bit, but
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
15 when you have cross seasonal plots is not until like yeah, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Like, but it also I don't know, because I think just if you want to get into like the production, I think it's one of the most impressively made things because they've kept that standard of every episode being made the way that it's made. It can't help but be current. Whereas like The Simpsons was doing stuff that happened last year or 6 months ago at best. So it always felt like it had something that no other show besides like The Daily Show, Colbert Report was ever doing. They're commenting on what's happening like in the past week, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Which is honestly why like the recent move to Paramount and all this bullshit behind the scenes that drug out the release of uh, the two most recent seasons, both of which were only like 5 episodes long. But it was like we were getting an episode every other week and then sometimes every 2 weeks kind of thing. And it never was able to establish a true flow, the way they have
Yeah,
in prior seasons. So it's, it's a new thing, but obviously it is, you know,
it's a
it's
powerhouse in its own
well,
right.
yeah, it's propping up an entire studio at this point. That is also unfortunately um, a studio that fucking sucks and is doing terrible
Well, it's been holding up
things.
Comedy Central for like a
Yes,
decade at least, I think. Like,
yeah.
what would Comedy
Anyways,
Central be without South
we
Park?
don't have to keep rambling about South Park. But yes, I feel like we definitely talked about it enough now. Okay, Gav.
Okay.
Uh, anyways, any other final TV shout outs, gentlemen, before we call it an evening?
Hmm.
You led the question, Matthew. Let's finish with your answer. What's your
I
one?
gave my
Yes,
answer.
I
My
missed it.
answer was The Good Place.
Oh, the good place.
that's
Okay.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a
Fantastic show.
like everybody talks about it, and I just like I go to a different place.
Okay, all
You
right.
don't go to the good place. You go to the bad place.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one last one real quick. Just say the show. Don't give me a reason why. Give me one show that you could have restarted right now. No questions asked from the last 25 years. It whether it's ended or not, you just get to restart it and do whatever you want with it, make it your thing just for you. What show would that be?
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Fringe.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Rome.
Good. That's really good. I think, yeah, Rome's really good. How about you know?
It was pretty much perfect, but I would love another season of Love on Netflix, the Paul Rust, Gillian Jacobs show, that was produced by Apatow, which I still think is incredibly
You and your
underrated.
Gillian Jacobs.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm a simple man. I like simple things. Butter in my ass, lollipops in my mouth. But that's just me. That's just something that I enjoy. Okay, Patrick?
Okay.
Okay?
I mean,
Um,
sure. Like I won't begrudge you. I don't kink shame.
I appreciate you. Make $1.01 in this business. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. I'm Floyd Gondoli. Uh, yeah. Boogie Nights. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Again, I saw it one time. I don't need to see it again.
You said you could replay it at will, and that's why you didn't need to see
Right,
it.
I don't know all the dialogue.
Well, it's
Like,
pretty
I can see
iconic
the
scene.
scenes.
Butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth is iconic, dude. It's Philip Baker Hall.
No,
Like,
no, it's kind of trite.
okay.
You don't
Call it
understand,
trite.
Noah. Patrick and I had a
Some call it
lovely
trite.
conversation
Some
about
call it iconic. Some people call it trite. Some people.
Let's say this because I would love like a good half-hour separate podcast just to watch this argument be
Oh,
had.
see,
Oh,
that's what.
this
the
one.
contrarian cousins. Yes, of
Hey,
course.
guess what? We can do that shit right now. We can record. We're still recording. You can
Well,
chop this out. Contrarian
I'm
cousins, have it out.
I'm maybe a little too tired for that conversation.
Blanchard Battleground.
Wait,
Or
uh,
enter someone leaves. I don't know.
We haven't done one of those in a while. Those are always fun.
oh, but okay, if I could go back and do whatever I wanted with it, my one magical thing, honestly, sorry, Freaks and Geeks. Like if I could go back in
Yeah.
time and give Freaks and Geeks like a normal run,
Yeah.
I don't know if it spoils the magic long term. I don't know if it's like it's because it happened in a vacuum and it happened the way it did that like they got some of those episodes through in the first place. But I would have liked to have seen, you know, I would have watched that show for as long as they wanted to make it. If they
Yeah,
could have sustained the
same.
quality, like with that cast at that period of time. But also, it's like without that happening, we also don't get Undeclared, which is another great single season show that also died on the vine. Oh, sorry, am I getting an eye roll, Patrick? You don't like
No,
Undeclared?
no. I was gonna tie it into a Gavin thing.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Or if it continues, unfortunately, we don't get one of the iconic ER of the 2000s moving forward. We don't get Linda Cardellini in ER.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
she is one of the best late period additions to the series, which I guess
but
ends
she's
up
so
being
toxic.
like more than
And I guess
early.
and I guess we don't get Charlie Hunnam in Sons of Anarchy either if Undeclared doesn't come out, right? Or is
Yeah.
he in Freaks and Geeks? Or is
Undeclared.
he's in Undeclared, that's what I thought. Yeah, so you wouldn't get him either.
Yeah, if Undeclared became a massive hit and ran for multiple seasons
And
somehow.
then Sons of Anarchy wouldn't have inspired a whole bunch of biker wannabes, and my life would have been a bunch easier.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
we don't live in
Shakespeare,
that
man.
Think of a big
timeline,
hit was
unfortunately.
Undeclared.
It's for everybody.
Most people miss that though, and I was working with those people. You met them, you know them.
Yeah, yeah, one of them tattooed me. I know.
Admittedly, I will say I don't have it. I've seen the first season of it. I think it was perfectly fine. I have no real critique of it. It's more of what it did to me personally by affecting the people around me.
Yeah, for sure.
My mom swears by mine. She says that's great.
Our mom has watched
got
every
into it.
episode and all the spinoffs and we honestly like
Our
we
mom
should
loves
have
Kurt
got
Sutter. That
we should
bastard
get
show he
mom
had on FX.
we should get mom to make her list because she has watched, I guarantee you probably I would say 90% of the shows that were mentioned on this list. But then she's got a solid, 45 shows you've never heard of that she's also like completely
All
on
right.
top of. I guarantee she watches more TV than all of us combined. I would measure. Our
I would
mother.
really,
Yeah.
like to see that actually.
Yeah, but some of it's like TCM, like old movies and like stuff from date, like
I'm
the
just
early. I don't know.
saying
She's got a
over the last
good like
25 years,
Rolodex.
I guarantee you she has seen all of the shows we've seen for the most part. Maybe not all the CW superhero stuff, but if we remove that from the equation, I guarantee you she's seen everything else we've talked about and then also way more that we haven't, is what I'm saying. Because she also watches network still. And she, those are 24 episode seasons, baby. She's got a billion
Yeah.
of those. Okay. Anyways, shout out to mom. Hope you're enjoying this.
Love you, Kathy.
And until next time, thank you to everyone for joining us. We finally had the brothers Blanchard back on the pod again. I'm very happy we could make this happen before the end of the year, and we'll have you back again soon, hopefully, for the
Hopefully.
top 25 favorite films of 2025. I think that is the next listicle episode that we will be doing. I don't know what the plan is recording wise. More on that in the group chat, gentlemen. Also, shout out to Mr. Baron Williams. Mr. Brennan Riley, Mr. Tim Niles, Mr. Evan Tuig, who could not be here this evening, and of course, my brother.
I'm Gavin. I'm Noah's brother.
And your
That's the guy. Yeah. Until next time, we've been the ARK of E Crew, and you've been listening to what we've been watching for the last 25
years.
Watch the Prowler. Shout out from Patrick.
And then watch the Master.